watching this live. So they can hear this video. Hey, family. BK, I'm about to ask you something. Please don't judge me.
Oh, shit.
The fan is facing my coochie. I cold. Can you put, I'm so sorry. My lady bits are freezing. Can you move the fan?
Why would you put it so close to your crotch?
I wasn't thinking.
Jesus.
I'm so sorry, guys. As I was sitting here and the fan was blowing cold hair up my lady situation. Just towards the sky, but I mean, no, it could stay where it is, but maybe just facing more towards my face than my vagina. My face is down here. I love you so much.
The better.
Okay, but aiming at me. Okay, there we go. Turn it this way. There we go. I'm an annoying friend. I love Bridget so much. Bridget works with special needs kids. Somebody said your coochie is going to catch a cold. Y'all rude. Come say hi, Bridget.
How you just talk about her coochie like that?
Is this how we're starting the show? Like, I was like, oh, this is perfect. We're gonna start the show. I was like, oh, my coochie is freezing. I'm sorry, y'all. That was not how we wanted to start the show. I promise you, right before we started, we were talking nothing about vaginas.
Ice is broken now.
It came out of nowhere. Hi, welcome to the show, sponsored by ADHD. We're gonna have Bridget Kelly. I'm gonna find a pile of money and pay Bridget Kelly to do it.
In the background.
Do an intro for us. Oh, Bridget, that would be so fun. Can we?
Yeah.
I can ask the Nigerians if I can afford it.
Yeah. You
Okay.
You have, is this the peanut butter jelly that got you maybe weird?
It tastes like booty cheeks, but I'll eat it if it works.
No.
We're talking about shroom chocolate.
No.
Huh?
I just want to make sure that's not the flavor that we're getting.
No, we didn't get no peanut butter flavor. Hi, guys. We're ordering legally obtained shrooms and, psilocybin for my birthday in Malibu.
Yes. Legal doses.
Y'all don't understand. The way I'm counting down to when I can leave y'all for a couple weeks, actually, I'm lying. I'll probably be gone for 3 days. But still, the way...
We're gonna go live at the staycation, please.
Can you imagine? Okay, the show. Welcome to the show. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back, weirdos. Love y'all so much. I will say this. Somebody said, wait, hey, Blue and Crew. Oh, hey. By the way, when the Blue Crew shows up to Carlos's show, y'all rep your set so loudly. There's so many exclamation points, and I'm just sitting there trying to look like a paid correspondent. Like, thank you. Love you so much. Somebody said Nigerian accountants are the best. Yes, they are also very strict. I was just telling Bridget that somebody kept calling me Daphne Blake yesterday during Carlos's live, and it took me a second to realize y'all were talking about the girl from Scooby-Doo. And in my entire life, I've always seen myself as a Velma, so this feels very weird. Somebody said Monday episode was so good. It was. Have y'all noticed, though, I'm not saying I'm a shit stirrer, but they be so chill, and then when I pop on, I'm like, hey, bitches. And so I'm trying to figure out how to maybe land, but then Claudia comes on. It's the same thing, so it's all aligned. Anyways, guys, today we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And hold on, let me make sure that I put all the proper settings for this live, because my other Bridget, my YouTube manager, be watching my lives, and if anything goes wrong, trust me, I hear about it. Hi, Bridget. I hear about it during our monthly check-in, so I'm making sure all my every Bridget in my life bosses me around, y'all. I'm making sure all my settings. Okay, there we go. So we're going to be talking about Housewives of Beverly Hills. But before we do that, two things. Number one, you guys know whenever there's a conflict of interest or an interesting conflict, I always let you know up front so that nobody can pull a gotcha on me. I am very friendly with people who are friendly with Bose, people who love her dearly. adore her, probably have her in a group chat somewhere, are also people that I consider myself in some way aligned with. And so I had originally planned to not talk about this because it was cringe, but not bad enough where I needed to cause unnecessary whatever, right? Then in the last couple of days, me and Bridget have watched the last 3 to 4 episodes of Beverly Hills Housewife, and we both got so triggered. You guys saw how I was last Friday. I got so triggered watching it. I was like, oh, it would be irresponsible of me not to call out this teachable moment. So I just want you guys to know that, like, I'm not going to drag anybody, Bose included. And though I am going to be fair and honest and reasonable about the things that I see. And if you and the truth have beef, that's between you and the truth. I just work here, right? And it's going to be objective truth and personal truth. And I am very clear about the difference. And I will do my best to call out the difference when I'm sharing an opinion versus where I'm sharing something that presents as fact. If those facts change, I will also make sure to come back and course correct, because I don't give a fuck about being perfect. I care more about being whole, and whole humans make mistakes sometimes. So if you're someone who's new to this space, I just want you to know ahead of time what the premise is. Now, before I start, I'm going to do a quick video. Oh, I got a direct deposit from my old podcast. Apparently my old podcast is making a couple pennies a month, despite the fact that I haven't been posting anything. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, before we start off with Beverly Hills, I want to ask, have you guys seen AI Aaliyah? Have you guys seen AI Aaliyah? I've seen this recently, and I was taken aback. I was a little freaked out. Hold on for a second. I want to make sure that I grab this link. While I'm showing the AI Aaliyah, I'm going to post this on, what they call that, threads that we're starting right now.
Say Eastland trying to pick up some kicks. Low-key day, don't tell nobody.
Yo, wait, are you?
Shh, I'm just shopping, okay?
She does not sound anything like Aaliyah. Richard, did you hear Aaliyah's voice just now?
That was not Aaliyah. That was somebody else.
It is you. Y'all blew on my cover, but yeah, real quick.
It's the face, but the voice is so off.
No, it's not sexy enough.
Aaliyah never talked like that, ever.
What up, y'all? I'm just at Eastland trying to pick up some kicks. Low-key day, don't tell nobody.
Yo, wait. That's a little better, but still.
But the picture that they use is the picture with
I've seen the picture.
Y'all, I'm now on a crusade to show you how obnoxious and insufferable AI has become. Shout out to everybody who sat through Love Island, Fruit Island, Cocktail, whatever the fuck that video was that we posted a couple of days ago. I want you guys to confront it. Because when people tell me, Blue, you're being too harsh on AI, I want you guys to see just how ridiculous it is, how it's built for brain rot, how it is AI slop, and how, if not used sparingly and correctly, could really, really usher in us being dumbified even more than we already are. Studies have already shown, research has already shown, peer-reviewed research has shown that millennials are the last generation whose IQ was higher than their parents. We are quite literally dumbing ourselves down, right? The generation after millennials are quite literally compromised intellectually and cognitively, which is why the work that we do here is so important. So now that we've all gotten our daily reminder that AI is a little bit of the devil, someone said, hold on, I want to see this. Oh, shout out to the new members. Sabrina, welcome, my love. We are going to have a members only live in April. I might do a members only like for Malibu, something during Malibu weekend, Bridget, you think? Yeah, I'll do like a members only live when we're in the Malibu house. But that's not going to be Gen Pop, y'all. Y'all no. Anyways, today's topic is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Timestamp is 8 minutes and 57 seconds. Let's just say 9 minutes to be safe. For those of you who have not watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, don't worry. The way that we always do the show is 40% of you come here to hear things that you've never heard about and to learn. And 60% of you have heard about it, but you still came here to learn because you want better frameworks, right? So for the 60% who already knows everything, y'all know the rules. Please do not jump to do that thing that Instagram and TikTok and Threads have taught you, where you see somebody telling a story and you jump ahead to the end to share spoilers because you want to show everybody how much you know. It's insufferable in real life. It's also insufferable in this space. If you know a story and you're watching other people who don't know the story, experience it for the first time, don't jump to ruin it for them. Shout out to the 40% who always make themselves known. I want y'all to know that there's no shame in not knowing. There's only shame in hearing better and not learning from it. So we're going to start with a course correction. And a lot of you in the chat before we started noticed this. I intentionally used the older picture. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the old picture now. The picture that I used was a bit of a robin's egg. Y'all know when you're in the writer's room, you intentionally have little hints about what's to come. This is the picture that I used. Look at this. I used the picture that includes Bose and Sutton and Garcelle and Erica and Dorit and Kyle, because to me, what we're discussing in this season actually starts last season. And I feel like without us really sincerely unpacking what happened last season, we don't have the full context about why this season is so damaging and gross and slow. Someone said, I tuned out when Garcelle left. A lot of people did, so I completely understand. And honestly, I tuned out and expected to tune out when Garcelle. Oh, I forgot to do the thing over at what they call it. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do the thing because Bose might see it over there. I only hear rolling on the chat, y'all. Although, Bose, if you do see this and you ever want to talk to me, and you know we have friends in common, feel free to always reach out to me. Nothing I'm saying is something I wouldn't say to your face respectfully, or something that I feel ashamed to say in a room that you would be in. So just know, guys, this is not one of those typical social commentary channels where you talk big shit, but you want to hide when you see people outside. I talk big shit ready to see people outside. Welcome. Okay? So we're using this old picture because Garcelle and Bose's relationship is actually why what's happening with Bose right now is just somebody said Garcelle is so pretty. She is, and she's a ginger too. Oh, I didn't even realize she's ginger in this picture. I love that. And I actually almost wore a shirt that color today, but I'm saving it. And she's Haitian. She's a Haitian ginger. Look at this. Although her being a Haitian ginger is not, I'm still gonna be objective. Okay. She could have been a blonde from Kosovo. I will still be objective. All right, let's do a recap of the show in general, right? And I'm going to keep this picture up so you guys can have a general sense of the show for those who are at 40%. Real Houses of Beverly Hills first started off with Kim Richards and Kyle Richards, who are the sisters of Kathy Hilton, the mother of Paris and Nikki Hilton. All right, so get that family tree in your mind. This started with the little lesser known sisters of Paris Hilton's mama, the hotel heiress, being on a reality show 15, 20 years ago. Yes? When they got on the show, it was immediately sister versus sister because Kyle, the brunette with the handsome Jewish Mexican husband, Mauricio, who has been voted the sexiest husband on Bravo like a decade in a row. Kyle was the beautiful brunette with the swirly, handsome husband. Kim Richards was the blonde alcoholic who was always looked like she had a little bit of shaken baby syndrome. Yeah, just a little shaky, right? I'm not making fun of a condition. It wasn't Parkinson's. She was just drunk. Okay, it was alcohol. So Kim and Kyle's terse relationship was a heavy foundation. Camille Grammer was also around that first season, and she would later find out that Kelsey Grammer had encouraged her to be on the show as a way to put her out to pasture before dumping her. Let me find her a hobby on television before I set her away and have to figure out my alimony payments, right? And that first season, I think a lot of times when you watch these shows, it's always important to have first season understandings. Lisa Vanderpump was an OG. Lisa Vanderpump was this filthy rich woman. I don't feel like I have to explain who the fuck Lisa Vanderpump is. And it was actual wealthy people who were legacied and grandfathered into Hollywood. Over the years, it has shifted. There have been high points, like Garcelle. There have been low points like Teddy Mellencamp, who I just think is, I can't say what I want to say about her because she recently survived cancer or some sort of really serious illness. So I want to be mindful of that. I'm still not a Teddy fan, so both things can be true. So there have been high points and low points and lots of interesting Lisa Rinna moments in between. When Garcelle joined the show, Fancy from the Jamie Foxx show as the Black community first met her. Also, she was on Melrose Place. She's a beautiful woman. She's Haitian. We actually know, actually, let me not even get into that. She's a beautiful woman who's Black and is also legacy. There was an interesting thing that happened when, Erica Jane and her husband, I think, were later. I don't think, was Erica Jane first season? I don't think Erica Jane was first season. Let's look it up. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 1 cast. I don't remember, because Erica Jane, I always thought came in as a newcomer a couple seasons in. Yeah, season 15 is the one that we're on right now. Season 1. No, it was Taylor. It wasn't, Erica wasn't in it. I don't see Erica at all. Erica, let me see. Erica's first season. And And also, Erica doesn't actually fit the old Hollywood narrative. She's new money. Season 6. So Erica didn't come in until season 6. Season 1, it was mostly new money and old money. Season 6, yes, the Maloofs were there. People who had been grandfathered into being, those people. And so when Garcelle joined several seasons later, right, when they were in double digits, I, as a Haitian woman, because I have a friend named Xavier, shout out to X. X is a queer Jamaican man. He's like 6'7". He's a singer. He's an amazing big energy. And whenever I would say something that people considered very colorful and direct, i.e. undiagnosed autism, X would always be like, yeah, you are so Haitian. I was like, what do you mean by that? He was like, Blue, you don't understand. Haitian women, as a Jamaican man who grew up in New York, Haitian women notoriously do not give a fuck. Y'all don't know how to be scared properly. Y'all will fuck around and find out and then do it again. And I used to be like, that's so weird. I've never thought fearlessness as a Haitian woman a trait, because all the women in my family are scared of their own shadow, right? Like, I'm an anomaly in my family. However, Garcelle made me feel like I need to send Xavier an apology, because Garcelle does do things in a very, like, yeah, I'm confrontational, now what kind of way that I do think a lot of Southern Black and Caribbean women have. And I've already said I've always thought that there was a connection socially between how Caribbean women and Southern Black American women move through the world. When your family has a legacy and living off the land and it's not from a big city, there's a certain grit that is inherent for survival. And so when I saw Garcelle on the show, I was like, oh, Garcelle is confrontational. But here was the thing, and this is why I want you guys to understand that words mean things. Garcelle was always confrontational, which means she confronted things head on. She was never combative. For anybody who's taking notes, this is your first note. Garcelle was confrontational. She was never combative. Confrontational means I want to confront it head on. I'm going to say the thing, right? Combative means I want combat. And then the difference between confrontation versus combat is the chasm between Garcelle Bouvet and Bose. Bose has been combative and also non-confrontational unless she's about to become combative, then she's both, right? Garcelle has been consistently confrontational and seldom, if ever, combative. And there's a huge fucking difference. And in that difference is why I went from defending one of them to being appalled and dismayed by the other, despite deeply respecting both of them for several years. I did not know a single woman in my age bracket who was in digital media, who's in the entertainment industry, who was Black and proud, who has ever been to LA or New York, who at some point has not heard of Bose. I want to put some respect on her name. I'm not going to sit here and shit on her legacy just because she's having a very icky, cringe, teachable moment if she decides to learn from it. So Bose is a big deal, particularly in the media space, particularly in any spaces where corporate America and media collide. Because a lot of you don't realize in the media space, you need corporate sponsors for everything. If you want to be rich, you're either going to be Tyler Perry and just be in your car writing weird homoerotic trauma porn fiction, or you have to get a corporate sponsor, right? Is there another lane? Is there another lane of getting rich, Bridget? Okay, she said no. So it's Tyler Perry or corporate, right? And so corporate is more often happens than Tyler Perry. He's an anomaly. And because of that, Bose has always had a foot in this industry where we always knew who she was. We always thought she was big shit. Somebody said that's a major distinction. Yes, combative versus a confrontation was a very major distinction. I am always ready for a confrontation. You will have a hard time convincing me to be involved in combat. I will leave. I will go to sleep. I'll say something really hurtful that makes you cry. So I have an exit strategy to leave while you're crying. Look, I'm not doing this with you. Right. So as someone who's extremely confrontational, but not very combative, I can taste the difference immediately, particularly in a Black woman. So when Garcelle's on the show, she starts confronting things like, hey, when you call me angry, even though I have the most timid, chill, monotone voice in the whole cast, she did. When you watch the show, Garcelle's voice never reached past like a certain octave. I think I saw her scream one time in all the years she was there, right? So as someone who never screamed, someone who was not dramatic, someone who would implode very pridefully rather than explode because of 30 years of media training and having survived the 90s as a Black woman, right? Garcelle was more demure than more of the white women, but she was called aggressive and combative much quicker. And Garcelle, this is where her being one of us comes in, will be like, so are you calling me that because I'm Black? Because how am I more aggressive than Erica who stormed off crying 10 minutes ago? I don't understand. It just feels like a microaggression. Is it because I'm Black? And everybody was like, oh my God. Y'all know how I always do my Diana Carroll. The champagne is burnt. People would freak out because Garcelle would be like, hey, yo, you call me aggressive without me being aggressive. It's because I'm a nigga. What's going on? You good? And they'd be like, no, Garcelle, it's not because you are black. I'm imitating Dorit because the last person that Garcelle had a, hey, you keep having microaggressions and it's making me a really uncomfortable conversation was with Dorit. Erica Jane made jokes about Garcelle's son. The ladies made jokes about all her sons, like one of her sons sexually. There were housewives who were talking about wanting to fuck her son. There was housewives saying fuck her kids. They said really flippant, harsh, sharp things about Garcelle's black male children. Mind you, only one of them is even monoracial. The other one looks every bit of swirl, right? So even the colorism thing couldn't save Garcelle's sons because she has one son that is fully black and one son who is biracial. I mean, two sons, twins that are biracial. They all caught smoke. In fact, the poor little biracials who are still minors caught the most smoke. So Garcelle would speak out very calmly and in a very dignified, regal, baby boomer-ish kind of way about things that she found undignified. She was being very Beverly Hills, and yet they would constantly call her names that they wouldn't call the other people and talk about her children in a way that I have never in 15 years seen them talk about anybody else's child. Garcelle, in the middle of this, finds a fun, ratchet, yet turned bourgeois Georgia babe, okay, named Sutton. Sutton is from Georgia, but moved to New York in the 90s, honey, and was hanging with the gays. Okay, so Sutton is a Georgia peach who probably has people in her bloodline who have put on masks while they run through the streets with burning crosses. And though she fled and got rich and moved to New York and was outside. So she's in that interesting liberal leaning white woman where you know you got all the people who say the N-word in your family and also you hang out with actual black people and gays. Yes? Problematic, but still slightly an ally. When Sutton and Garcelle became friends, it is my opinion that they became friends because somebody said, not you doing the Dorit voice. Well, if I was doing the Dorit voice, I would have to do a Connecticut voice, that's where I'm from, and then somehow turn into a weird British person who's also Italian having an aneurysm. I don't know how to do that, so I'll just stick to my regular voice. So Garcelle was getting a lot of smoke. Sutton was an outsider. Garcelle was a nigga, so she's an outsider, right? So you have two outsiders who are both a little kooky, who are of a certain age. They bonded under duress. That is actually the proper usage of trauma bonding. Trauma bonding does not mean you met, I say this at least once a month. Stop using trauma bonding to mean that you got trauma, I got trauma, now we bonding. That's called bonding over trauma. Trauma bonding, the actual term, means when you are bonding with someone you experienced trauma with or the person who caused you the trauma. If they were not present for the trauma, you are not trauma bonding. You're just two sad bitches who ran into each other. Respectfully, because y'all keep using that word wrong and it's doing my fucking head in. So they actually did not bond over trauma. They trauma bonded, right? And so I want to use that word correctly for once. And because they trauma bonded, what do we all understand as someone who is a person of color, a black woman, a biracial black woman, because y'all love to pretend they're not black, but it's actually just a subcategory of black. I hate to tell y'all. Whether you're a black woman, a biracial black woman, an Afro-Latina, all black, or monoracial black from whatever else, we all, even the light ones, guys, I've heard it from everybody who is not pure white, know what it's like when you make friends with a white woman that you are fond of, but who is better perceived as a damsel than you are. Do we not know all that feeling? Bridget, perfect example. Have you never had a white friend where you knew that because you were half black, she's immediately the damsel and you're not? Mm-hmm. Exactly. So y'all can't do the whole weird thing about, well, is it really black? It's all of us, okay? One drop actually applies here. Any person who is not pure white, the purest white bitch wins. And what I love about this season is it's the white on white crime. Y'all ask, why do I always smile when I mention white on white crime? I don't know. Maybe it's the closest we'll get to 40 acres. So anyways, because Sutton and Garcelle were friends, it was that interesting dynamic of, that's my bitch, not too much. I'm going to protect her, because we all know if you need somebody to protect you, a black woman is probably going to be the first person to sit up, right? And though she is more of a damsel than I am. So what would happen is Sutton and Garcelle would constantly say the same things, but if Garcelle simply took up for her friend, she was instantly perceived as the black pit bull. Let me repeat that. If Lisa Rinna and Kyle Richards, two white women, right? Two skinny white women were watching one get into an argument, and one would see their friend getting into an argument and he sees somebody jumping on them and be like, hey, not too much. I was there. That's not true. That's just two homegirls having each other's back. Whenever Sutton and Garcelle would be in the same dynamic, everybody, including other Black people, immediately treated Garcelle like her pit bull. Can we be honest about the internalized anti-Blackness that lives in all of us, that we can watch two clusters of friends do the same thing, and yet the narrative is never Rinna's looking out for Kyle, but it's always, well, Garcelle was just there as Sutton's mammy. Because she defends her friends when people are jumping on her case like everybody else in the fucking cast. You're all complicit, whether you realize it or not. Anybody who was ever, be honest, put your hand up via a hand up emoji or a blue heart if you've ever found yourself thinking Garcelle is Sutton's pit bull, Garcelle is always fighting Sutton's battles, Garcelle is X, Y, and Z. Please admit it. Admit it right now. That is implicit bias, right? It is so deep-seated that when we see a Black woman coming to the aid of a little white blonde Southern/New Yorker woman, in our mind is giving pitbull energy, even though she's doing the exact same fucking thing everybody else is doing. I once watched 6 episodes back to back just to see if Garcelle ever deviated from the other women. And in all 6 episodes, never once did she do something I had not just seen a white woman do 5 minutes earlier. And yet her narrative was different, even in the face of other Black people. You see how I'm calling y'all out before we call out anybody else? It's because I want you to understand the bias that I'm about to call out in Bose lives in you. So let's hold her accountable, but not too fucking much because your hands aren't clean either. You see all the hands that went up? Your hands aren't clean either, right? You have to check the part of you that thinks big Black woman must be pitbull, must be mammy, help poor Django Unchained white person. You know what I mean? That image of Leonardo DiCaprio being held and rocked by Samuel L. Jackson is a perfect example of what flashes across our eyes when we see any Black woman of strength have her friend's back if her friend is white, even if she's doing it to a reasonable degree and in the same manner as everybody else at the table. So Garcelle spends all this time simply being a good friend to Sutton. Sutton, however, is tired of being the outcast with one nigga friend. Can we all just be honest? At some point, it's cool. You got this cool Black girl who has your back, but you kind of wish you could hang out with the other whites. You kind of wish the other whites would accept you as well. And I don't think Sutton would ever voice it this crudely, but I'm being this crude in order for it to be too hard for you guys to deny it, right? The last few seasons that Garcelle had, you started to see Sutton showing how badly she wanted to be accepted by the white ladies because being the Black girl's bestie wasn't enough for her. Garcelle started to then voice, Sutton, I've always had your back as your homegirl because I assumed we were friends. And yet now, when I feel like I'm getting racially profiled, all this stuff is happening, you are having my back in shades, but never if it includes confronting the very women that I've been confronting non-combatively on your behalf for all these seasons. I've been working under the premise that it's my turn now, it'll be your turn later. Bitch, it's your turn. Like, tap in, the fuck. When Garcelle realized, oh shit, you were her friend, but she also saw you as a pit bull like the audience and the other women. She didn't see you as two friends having each other's back, just like Rinna and Kyle. She actually did see you as a fucking bodyguard. You're the only one who's not in on this optical joke. You could see it in her eyes, because I've had this feeling before when you realize, fuck, this might actually be just some basic racist shit. I thought we were different. As somebody who's had my heart broken by a very close white female friend, they used to call her White Blue, which is already problematic. Those who have seen my Destiny swapping video know all about White Blue. Me and White Blue, I think one of the reasons why I walked away from ginger for so many years is because she and I had ginger hair for like 6 years simultaneously, and we had the same body shape. So we would always call me Meat Blue and her White Blue. The way that girl turned into the most basic Karen bitch when we stopped being friends, I was like, there's no way that you were like a sister to me. Somebody said it's the worst feeling. It is the worst feeling when you love somebody and don't look at their race as a reason to not love them, and then realize that everything you've ever heard about white people lives in them unchecked, which is why currently I only have white friends who check themselves. There's some things you ain't got to treat me more than thrice. I'm saying thrice because I'm from Boston. I'm not going to pretend like I'm new to racism. So when Garcelle starts to realize, Dorit, why do you have different rules for Kyle than you have? Somebody said the white blue story was scary. Yeah, it was very scary. Why do you have different metrics for Kyle than you have for me? Now that Kyle is being friendly to you, the girl who's been the mean girl to you this time, now that Regina George is being friendly to you, you're being nicer to her than you are to me. You're showing grace more to your former bully than you are to the person who's been your defender and your friend. And I'll never forget when Sutton said, "I am trying to reconcile with my mother." Her mother being the old Southern Paula Deen flavor of white bitch. I feel like she was made of butter and synthetic hair, just butter and pearls. Like just that kind of biscuit white. She was buttermilk biscuit white. When they went to go see Sutton's mom to help them reconnect, I said, "You are going to show up to a Southern woman's house, a Southern white woman's house, with a 6-foot tall Haitian and the sister of Kathy Hilton. Which one do you think she's gonna be nice to? Anybody want to take any guesses?" So Kyle, the former bully, turned fresh new friend, fresh new truce, and Garcelle, the day one, go to meet Sutton's mother. Sutton's mother is lovely to Kyle, and the entire time looks stunned that Garcelle is sitting at the table with them rather than serving them. Sutton and her mother reconcile after that trip, and suddenly Sutton starts to pull away from Garcelle, because I'm thinking subconsciously, I don't think Sutton did it on purpose, subconsciously she remembered who the fuck she was. My mother got excited about Kyle. Kyle understands my mom. We had great banter. And Garcelle was just kind of there and black, and it was awkward, and I felt bad. And I hate that having my black friend and defender meet my slightly racist, covertly racist mother and being reminded where I come from. I hate that feeling. And rather than check my mother, I'm just going to get rid of the eyesore. Yes? These are all the things, if you watch back through a more educated framework, are impossible to miss. After that trip, I said, Kyle is being nice to Sutton, one white woman's approval. Her mother is being nice to Sutton, the ultimate white woman's approval, because every woman that you know who has a white mother will tell you there is something about getting their approval where if you don't, it fucks with you. I've had so many of my biracial friends when I was growing up. There was this little girl that I knew. She was so pretty, so pretty. She had a white mother who was like white Latina, but tried really hard to just be seen as white, fuck the Latina part. And her daddy was like black Panamanian. And I remember she talked about how her mother's sisters and how she wanted so badly to be accepted by them because they were these pretty blonde women. And she was this little mixed race girl. And she said, there's something about them that makes me pander to white women. Because it's almost like if I can't get my mother's love or my auntie's love, I can get their love, right? So it's this tricky thing that happens for Sutton where her words are colliding, right? Her new New York world and her old Southern world. Her and Garcelle start to fall out because Garcelle's heart is breaking in real time, realizing that's not your friend. You know how your mother always says, that's not really your friend? Garcelle is learning the hard way. You were just trying to be colorblind and love your friend even as you were under racist attacks, and she did not show up for you, even a fraction the way you showed up for her. I'll shout out to the Panamanian flags in here, right? And it was heartbreaking to watch because I was like, I know this feeling. In the midst of all that, they bring in Bose. And the thought is, Bose is this badass black corporate Barbie who is a mentor. Every black woman under 40 considered Bose some sort of inspiration. Shit, a couple bitches her own age consider her inspiration. Let's put some respect on her name, right? Bose was such a big deal in the black women's space, particularly when it comes to the intersection of entertainment and corporate, that when we found out she was coming on the show, we thought, nah, Bose not going to play that shit. Bose and Garcelle about to take over. That is not what happened, and this is where we start our clip. Is everybody caught up? I feel like that was a pretty granular recap. Everybody caught up? Okay, so let's talk about what happened when Bose and Garcelle met, and Bose was supposed to be, hey girl, hey, but Garcelle is up here protecting Sutton while also simultaneously realizing me and my friend might be breaking up. Bose walks in and immediately bonds over trauma, not trauma bond, right? Because Garcelle and Sutton trauma bonded. Dorit and Bose bonded over trauma, totally different. That's why I want you to know the distinction. So when Bose walks in and she sees Dorit looking all scared and frail, saying, oh no, my husband's a raging alcoholic, he's going to leave me. And Bose said, well, my husband's dead. He already left me. They bonded over trauma. And you guys see how the two couples look the same until you get very granular. Let's talk about the other Black girl syndrome and how instead of being Garcelle's ally, Bose ended up being the end of Garcelle. I'm not blaming Bose. I'm just saying that her presence 100% was a factor.
And Bose, the book The Other Black Girl, and Why All Skinfolk Ain't Kinfolk. The Other Black Girl is Akia Delilah Harris's 2021 novel debut. It takes place at a publisher in New York City, and the protagonist, Nella, is the only Black employee at the publisher. She does encounter a ton of micro and macro aggressions. She finds herself feeling very uncomfortable in an all-white environment. Nella is so thrilled when a new Black employee finally joins the publisher, and it's a Black woman, so she's psyched. They initially bond over things like hair, but eventually, something starts going amiss. Nella soon realizes that there is a degree of friction between her and the new Black employee, Hazel, and that other employee, Hazel, seems to be agitating for dominance in the workplace and trying to angle herself as the best Black girl in the office, the other Black girl, the most desirable Black girl. I'm not going to ruin the plot or the ending, but the story is a lot about what it means to be the only Black person in an all-work environment and what it means to have hope for someone to join you. And when that hope falters and when that other Black person is not in allyship with you, how that can feel very isolating and overwhelming. Do you know where I'm going here? Garcelle entered the Real Housewives scene in 2020, and she was the first Black housewife ever to be on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I think she's the second Black housewife across all of the franchises. Although this is super unfair, Garcelle being the first Black housewife on Beverly Hills required her to kind of be a shepherd for the audience and teach them what it means to have a Black woman on reality TV amid all of these other white cast members. I think Garcelle has been amazing on Beverly Hills for many reasons, the primary of which is the fact that she's never dulled herself or made herself smaller to appease or acquiesce to the other white cast members on her show. She's always been upfront about talking about racial issues. She's really talked about police brutality, Black Lives Matter, and she's been very proactive about pinpointing, discussing, and kind of unfurling microaggressions and the macroaggressions that have been hurled at her, particularly by Dorit. This is all to say that Garcelle has been an amazing housewife in Beverly Hills. And I think what's also interesting is like Garcelle has always been Black famous. Like we've been knowing who she is.
All right, I'm eating a goldfish, and Bridget says that these are the regular size. I don't remember goldfish ever being this fucking big. I'm fighting for my life trying to eat this fucking goldfish. If you see me choke, call 911, okay? Love y'all.
But the white audience wasn't used to her, and they quickly got to know this woman who was luxurious, beautiful, smart, rich, incredibly talented, incredibly successful, and just kind of like a mainstay of the Black community. It's been really exciting. It's honestly all I could have ever hoped for a first Black housewife on Beverly Hills.
By the way, I love that she's giving Garcelle her flowers because I think that Garcelle reminds me so much of Olandria, where she was classy the entire time and they never stopped trying to paint her as aggressive. But they're saying these are huge. Okay, so I'm not crazy. No, bitch. I'm gonna get you some regular. This is huge.
I'm gonna buy some today.
No, you can get more big ones, but I'm telling you that the other ones exist.
It doesn't even say big on the bag.
No, the other ones. No, this is no. Everything's big. It's too big. I am not a size queen, child. Look at this. Is a mouth. It's a mouth, and I don't have small lips.
It's large, but it's the regular size.
No, the other one's the regular.
The other ones are mini. It says mini on the bag.
Well, the minis are the regulars. Okay, these are jumbo. That's why America's obese. Okay, the obese. There's no fucking way you would go to Paris and this would be a single piece of candy. Do you think you could go to Europe and see this is a piece? This is considered no. America, what the fuck? Red dye number 8, we get this, right? But let there be some vegetables. Now we're getting mini bananas. Sorry. This show is sponsored by ADHD. I feel so bad for the new folks. Like, so how did we get from corporate racism to Swedish fish? Okay, back to why Bose was the signal of the end for Garcelle, even if she had no malicious intent. I don't believe she had malicious intent.
I do think that to a certain extent, Bose does kind of owe a degree.
Somebody from Paris said you would not. Ha! We have confirmation. Bonjour, Chilli. See, thank you. I'm still fucking up though. It's delicious. Go ahead.
degree of gratitude to Garcelle. Garcelle, as the first Black housewife on Beverly Hills, did pave a path. She did make it easier. She did make the idea of it more palatable to audiences, even though I disagree with that and I think that's super problematic. What does this have to do with the other Black girl? I think Garcelle going into this season knowing that another Black woman was going to be there was probably very excited. We know that the two met before the show and that they were cordial and that they got along, but at some point during the season, that totally falls apart. I think one of the issues is that we know Garcelle and Dorit have had a very fractured history, and Bose kind of immediately aligned.
Garcelle has repeatedly called out Dorit for being a damsel white woman and acting, oh no, I'm so scared around her, and kept on saying, Dorit, I don't think you're intentionally racist, but I do think that the way you talk about and to me has some racial bias that you need to confront. Dorit was never, ever held accountable. Dorit was never held accountable. Think about that. The last person that Garcelle had tricky race relations was Dorit, who was Bose's instant bestie on the show. The very same Dorit. Bose doesn't owe Garcelle anything. However, Bose said she watched the show to study it before coming on the show, right? She admitted she watched the show, and I'm happy she did, because we already knew she watched the fucking show. You didn't have to admit that shit. But as somebody, my mouth tastes juicy. As somebody who's admitted, I feel like, you know what I feel like? Wendy Williams, when she would drink her tea and get distracted. Oh my God. This is giving so Wendy right now. I'm so sorry. The tea is piping hot. Just playing. But no, imagine as a Black woman, you are alone on the cast fighting for your life. Another Black woman who you already know and deeply admire is going to come on the show. That other Black woman admits that she's watched the previous seasons. So you know for a fact that she's coming on knowing that there have been racial macroaggressions and death threats to you and your sons, your minors, your freshly 17 turning 18-year-old sons have been getting death threats because of things that have been enacted by your white co-stars. And you know, this Black woman who knows about the microaggressions is coming into the show. And you walk up fighting for your life. And when you see her, she is clinging to your loudest Karen as her new bestie. How would you feel? Bridget, how would you feel in that moment? If you found out that the white lady who had been harassing you, the most recent, was now the bestie of the only other Black girl who's now coming on set. Instant besties.
Oh, it's giving fetish. It's giving you have a fetish for Black women. That's what it feels like. You want to be special.
Yeah.
Token. You want to be special to the Black girl.
I think.
And it's ick.
I think Dorit subconsciously, and I'm gonna keep saying subconscious because it's the kindest iteration of this. Because if it's conscious, you're just a bitch, right? I think Dorit, at best, subconsciously thought to herself, "This big Black woman likes me." And that makes up for the other big Black woman calling me racist. I'm just going to say it. I think Dorit instantly clicking over trauma with a big, powerful Black woman 5 minutes after another big, powerful Black woman almost got her to admit that she might harbor some unintentional race-based bias. Gave her a get out of jail free card. Bose was a get out of jail free card for Dorit in a way that I'm not sure Bose would ever admit to herself, but that I find fucking impossible to ignore at this point. So now the shiny, well-spoken, equally grande dame Black woman, right? Because Bose and Garcelle are very equally yoked. We're not going to lie. Yes? The fact that a woman who looks and takes up the energetic real estate of the same person who just called me out and almost got me to admit that I'm a white person who might be fallible. Oh, if you like me, that's like me saying that my Black friend told me I could say nigga. I don't have to apologize for calling you a nigga at HR because my white Black friend told me I could call you nigga. And it's okay with him, so you must be reacting, other nigga, right? And so it's tricky for me because the minute Bose and Dorit became best friends, I was like, oh, there we go. And there you have it. And suddenly, Bose and Dorit, who bonded over trauma, are like a bizarre world, us versus them. Remember that Jordan Peele movie, Them? And how there was the upper half of them, which was like the light workers, and the lower half of them, which was like their evil twins, their doppelgangers. Dorit and Bose become the more palatable, less confrontational, 10 times more combative though, and more racially mainstream iteration of Garcelle and Sutton. Yes, it was called Us. That is another show by my friend Lena Waithe. My bad. So it felt like Us. It felt like in the real world where being woke is actually a thing, and it means to awaken to systemic oppression and all the ways it holds us down that we don't even realize. In the real world where we're woke and recognize, hey, this is a racial microaggression. This is not okay. Death threats are fucked up. Why is your Southern mother treating me like the help, even though I'm sitting at the table next to her, right? In the real world, Garcelle and Sutton exist. In the bizarro Bravo world, now you have another version. One Black woman, one frail damsel, right? But in this version, the Black woman is willing to play ball. In this version, the Black woman is a corporate Black woman who has already spoon-fed herself the dysfunctions of knowing what it's like to have to get along, but also because she's so grandiose and gorgeous and colorful, can still pretend to be for the people, even in the moments where she's closing the door behind her. Not saying she's done that. I'm talking about the archetype. Yes? Somebody just said, remember Dorit as a Jewish woman comparing her Jewish beliefs to Garcelle being the only Black woman around a sea of white women. Where do they do that at? Exactly. Thank you for that point, right? Dorit got such a Hail Mary from Bose. And because Bose, again, your white friend is saying, my Black friend told me I could say nigga. Because Bose was on Dorit's side immediately after having just met her, every single point Garcelle had made that had just started to finally take root, every fight that Garcelle had that had finally started to sink in, every point of nuance Garcelle made about internalized bias and how you don't have to be malicious to have racist leanings, they all flew away. They all flew away. Years of chipping away at this group of women and their audience. Years of calling a thing by its name without ever becoming emotionally deregulated. Years of imploded instead of exploding. All went away because as a Black person, we are one homogenous blob. We are not individual thinkers. One Black person gets to speak on behalf of all Black people because we're not people. We're a thing. We're an entity. We're a concept of cool that everybody wants to imitate, but nobody wants to actually switch places with. Yeah? In any other iteration of this dynamic where Blackness was not involved, there's no way one stranger who just walked in that nobody fucking knows could say, nah, you cool, and swipe away all the work and seniority of somebody who'd been there years before. It only works when it's a Black person being used as another Black person to absolve actions of white people. It only works with us because we're not people. We're not individuals. One can speak for all. Yeah? So Bose comes in, immediately bonds over trauma with Dorit, and has this bond and starts to recognize, hey, I just accidentally stepped into a very tried and true dynamic that's been working for several years. The whole Sutton and Garcelle thing has worked for years. I naturally, organically, just kind of like sob storied my way into this girl's good graces with each other. Oh, this is cool. I might have a storyline because Dorit has a storyline. I'm not stupid. Bose. You don't ever have to admit any of this publicly. You don't ever have to admit any of this publicly. It's okay. So, I got me a hook. Because one thing I would tell you about having so many reality stars in my life, there's one in the house right now, there is a thing that happens where you have to understand the game that is being played and then have a conversation with yourself about how much of the game you're willing to play. You really think that someone who has climbed up the corporate ladder for all these years and is worth an estimated $30 million has never figured out how to read the room and plot herself accordingly? You really want me to believe that it is possible for Bozoma St. John to get where she has gotten without the ability to cunningly read the room, figure out who her allies, her assets, her liabilities are, and to position herself accordingly. She would literally not be the woman that she is and garner the respect that she has if she was not able to do that on a masterful level. On a masterful level. So I will give her that. I think her and Dorit kind of trauma crashing into each other happened organically, but the position that happened afterwards is nothing but intentional. Because now that Dorit is here, and Dorit is a tried and true popular damsel who already has a stake in the ground, and I am her new captor, not her new captain, my bad, her new savior, and I already know how to do corporate speak, I'm used to being hired by rich white people to do all their bidding for them. That's literally called working in corporate. A rich white person in a position of power that needs to be maintained and protected gives me marching orders and or presents to me a problem that I can fix, and then I present myself as the solution. Bosman went straight into corporate mindset about the way that she moved with these girls. I am now going to be the liaison for Dorit Kemsley. How can I help you? No, you can't do that. Yes, you can. Actually, you're wrong. Even though I'm calling you wrong, Dorit's going to do the same thing in about 7 minutes. And when Dorit does it, it's going to be okay. But when you do it, it's wrong, and you have to get a speech and come meet me in HR. Right? Every time anything happens to Dorit, you have to go meet Bose in HR. So, and I'm oscillating between Bose and Bose because people keep using them interchangeably, and I have no fucking idea which one is respectful. So I'll say Bose, I think, because I suspect that might be the right one, but if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me, guys, because I always want to respect people's names because names have power. So that's the dynamic. And that's when Garcelle and Bose are one day looking at each other. They're like, they're trying to put us against each other, and I refuse to do it. Right? Garcelle tells Bose, I see what's happening here. You have your white, I have my white. We're supposed to be Crips versus Bloods. I'm just too old and Haitian and well established to do this, child. No part of me, no part of my identity says this is a good idea. And Bose actually plays along and says, no, I totally understand. I don't want to play that game either. Until I get more power, and then maybe I'll play it a little bit. Garcelle thinks that she's going to try her best to respectfully end the season until several things happen, microaggressions happen, that make her realize, you know what? Fuck this, I'm out. Let's continue watching the video.
Herself with Dorit, she immediately aligned herself with someone she knew had been micro and macro aggressive to Garcelle. And how do we know? Because she admitted that she's seen the whole show on the reunion. Yep. I think things have been pretty tepid between Garcelle and Bose during the season, but they got a lot worse during last week's Watch What Happens Live.
I know this is a video from the Garcelle season because we're starting last season, not this season. So we're still on last season because everything that happens last season informs my thoughts around Bose this season.
Erica Jane and Bose were being like purposefully mean towards Garcelle, knowing that she had quit. And then the reunion, there's clearly a degree of animosity between Bose and Garcelle now. And you can see that they're just not getting along and that they're not friends. And so what I think we have here is a scenario that's analogous to what happened in The Other Black Girl.
Yep.
Garcelle was the only Black woman in an all-white workspace. She had to deal with all these macro and microaggressions and was just like really eager to have someone else on the show to share the load of kind of the daily racism and just to like be in community with. And here comes Bose. Like, Bose is great. Bose is this corporate mastermind. She's beautiful. She's just like amazing. And so when she comes on the show, I'm sure Garcelle was super excited. But very quickly we see that Bose is kind of angling towards something else. She wants to be friends with Dorit. She wants to be friends with the Fox Force 5. She wants to be kind of the more dominant person on the show. And I think that's pretty normal for a first housewife, but it does seem that over time, over the season, Bose was positioning herself, either wittingly or unwittingly, in opposition to Garcelle.
She quite literally positioned herself in opposition to Garcelle. This is objective fact. Whether it was intentional or not, it's objective fact.
We know that Garcelle is experiencing this too, because I think last week she posted something on her Instagram story, a photo that said, "Not all skin folk are kinfolk." She responded to this and said she didn't think the post was about her. But then she did go on to post her own slides on Instagram. And she said that she had really hoped that her and Garcelle could show the world that there are many different ways to be a Black woman. Now, I don't think all Black people need to be friends in a work environment, but I know that in my own personal experience, when I'm in an all-white environment, environment, which happens literally all the time, and I see another Black person, I'm beelining for them. And I want to be their friend. And if I can't be their friend, I want to be their acquaintance, and I want to uplift them, and I want to be there for them.
Same.
So I think that's why this season has been so disappointing for me as a Black viewer. I was really hopeful that Garcelle would finally have an ally, kinfolk, and it just...
Yo, I'm about to start eating chips. I just realized I had breakfast about 12 hours ago. This is officially a mukbang. I apologize. Me and Bridget have been working all day. We're both starving. I'm sorry.
It didn't happen that way this season. I think it's been disappointing to see Bose kind of turn against Garcelle or kind of separate herself from her and, again, try to angle to be the more dominant person, the preferred person. It's just been disappointing.
Here are a few takeaways to help you in the workplace that you can learn from this whole fallout that's happening with Garcelle's departure from Beverly Hills Housewives. My name is Nikki, and I've been working in corporate fashion for about 20 years. So the lessons that I'm about to give you that we can all learn from this are things that I've learned firsthand. One of the biggest lessons, probably one of the most painful, is that you cannot expect any kind of camaraderie, any kind of allegiance, simply because somebody else looks like you. That can be interpreted a few different ways.
Yeah, guys, the whole all skin folk and kinfolk thing, as you get older, it's about more than just race. It's also about womanhood. Not all women like themselves and or other women. Not all Black people like themselves and or other Black people, right? Not all creatives and artists like themselves and or other creatives and artists. And so it gets not all Latinas like, we definitely know about that. I will vote for Don, you know what I mean? So the kinfolk, not all skinfolk or kinfolk thing is not just about race. It's about anything that makes somebody look and be perceived as tribe. You look like my tribe. Why are you acting like this?
That could be woman to woman, Black person to Black person. And let me tell you, I've experienced all of the above. From what I'm seeing between Bose and Garcelle, there was the expectation of some sort of camaraderie, to which Bose herself also spoke to in an interview. She said she didn't want to be in a situation, and she didn't want to play into a situation where the two Black girls were going against each other. This is what she said a while ago, and I don't know what has changed, because in that little Watch What Happened Live after show special with Erica J, it was giving that little piece of sentiment went straight out the window, because it was straight up nice nasty.
We started today, finale day, with Garcelle's announcement that she was departing.
Now, guys, I hope to God this video don't get me in trouble. I just paid 3 seconds of it and stopped it. I want us to do that thing we do where we look at something with the same framework. This clip is from, it was announced that Garcelle had quit the show right before the union was about to air. And so I'm going to be all over the show, showing maybe hints of what happened in the reunion that made her quit. If I was a Black woman who sincerely and intentionally wanted to uphold and uplift and respect the space, the very rarefied air that Black women take on a platform like this, because it's very rare that you see a Black woman in Beverly Housewives, right? Even if I did not fuck with Garcelle personally, if I was someone who just understood as a Black woman in general what was at stake, whether it's fair or not, there's a certain level of grace, dignity, and respect that I would still perform for the audience, irregardless of how I feel about the bitch personally, right? It's bigger than you, hoe, right? If Bose was the kind of woman that I thought she was until the show started, who is for us and by us, whatever ire, cringe, annoyance, dilly-dally she had with Garcelle, she would understand as the only Black bitch left, I gotta watch my mouth and make sure I don't fuck it up for any other Black woman just because I don't mess with this hoe over here. You ain't gotta lie. Just keep it cute. There's a level of base level keeping it cute that people in corporate have mastered that I know for a fact Bose is excellent at, that was completely absent in this moment while Garcelle was down. So this is not even just happening when she's up, she's down, right? She's being dragged by the fans that are turncoats. She is losing her friendship with Sutton, who she sincerely thought was her girl. The other Black girl has failed her. She is tired, and her son has been getting death threats, and she wants to leave with her dignity and her portfolio and a bunch of fucking movies that she's about to make. independently and make tons of money on, because y'all don't understand that independent films be making money when they have the right distributor, right? So Garcelle is already down, but not out. And all you gotta do is say yes. All you gotta do is say, Garcelle, look at this. Garcelle Bouvet is an icon. She is an amazing mother, an amazing businesswoman, an amazing actress. I stand on her shoulders as a Black woman on this franchise. I understand that many of us do not get this opportunity, and I'm honored to have shared this space with her. And if she thinks that her leaving is for the best, why I'm dismayed. I didn't get to know her any better, and we didn't get to bond more than we did. And it's unfortunate that we found ourselves on different sides of the aisle when it came to the friend group. I have nothing but utmost love and respect and gratitude for the space that she takes up. And I want other Black women to understand that they should take up space the same way she did. And she was a class act the entire time, no notes. That's what I would have said. And I am not a corporate baddie. I've not had a corporate job in 15 years. I've been working from home in my PJs since 2011. Even I know how to do that, right? Tism and all, even I know how to do that. This is what Bose did instead.
From the show, thoughts on that announcement, ladies?
Now, when he says thoughts on that announcement, ladies, there is a long, awkward pause. And we know in the Black community, an awkward pause for us particularly is supposed to signal that you are uncool, uncouth, and that a whole pregnant pause is happening full of the conversation that really happened in the car ride home, right? Culturally, I know awkward pauses exist for everybody, but in the Black community specifically, when we are in white spaces where there's very few of us, there's a level of shade that we are the ambassadors of in that moment, where our pauses are extra pregnant, honey. Is given third trimester pause, okay? This bitch gave a third trimester pause in a moment where a Black woman was supposed to be uplifted and then ushered out graciously. Look at this. And as the audience laughs, they just get quieter.
You have no thoughts on it?
Even Andy Messy Queen, I like him black-bottomed fucking Cohen, was like, oh my God, this is messier than I thought. You know how messy you gotta be for Andy to make that face? You know how messy you gotta be for Andy to be like, bitch, you really not gonna say nothing though? Garcelle is kind of her. Something? Look at Andy's face says everything to me.
Neither of you?
Erica, say something.
You say something.
And then she says, Erica, say something. We're about to talk about the first Black woman in the entire franchise, and you throw it to the blonde sitting next to you, the hot blonde. Shout out to Erica. She's beautiful. You're about to talk about the unfortunate departure of the first Black woman in the franchise, whose space you've just taken up. And you have a pregnant pause of awkwardness that even makes the host uncomfortable fleetingly, because Andy can brush it off. And then you look to the white woman next to you and say, Erica, you do it.
You say something.
Look.
Won't he do it?
She tries to start something. She's like, well, look. And Erica says, won't he do it? You guys, where do you think Erica heard, won't he do it? Who has the vernacular that includes, won't he do it? Here's the thing about doing the kind of work that I do. For those who don't know, I'm a writer, producer, emotional intelligence coach. I also have a quieter side gig as a bit of a advisor for people who find themselves in prickly situations and needing to have emotionally intelligent, critique-proof responses to crises. They used to call me Olivia Nope. Not Olivia Pope, Olivia Nope. Because my job is to say, nah, we're not fucking doing that, right? As an Olivia Nope, me watching this, what this signals to me as someone who has to watch human behavior for a living, is that Bose and the girls, the popular girls attached to Dorit, right, had been talking about Garcelle to the point where the girls got comfortable mimicking Bose's vernacular in a moment when they're being asked, what do you think about Garcelle leaving? Won't he do it? I'm asked to talk about the only other Black bitch who ever did this. I look and throw it at you, and you say, girl, I'm good. And when I start the bullshit, you say, won't he do it? As a way to playfully mock me before I continue. Because you're imitating the way that I talk when we talk shit about her. Because subconsciously, when we talk shit about her, the same shit that we're very loudly trying not to say, although our silence is saying it for us. When I'm in a shit talking about her mode, we kiki in a way where you say stuff like, won't he do it? And so I'm letting the mask slip and showing how close we are while we're actually saying nothing. Bose. Y'all should have hired me to do my corporate emotional intelligence workshops. I could have stopped y'all from this, but it's okay. Somebody said your responses have been very 2013. They have. The responses that Bose have been giving are the kind of responses that a boss would give when I was working at a nonprofit in DC in the late 2000s. Ciao. Won't he do it? And look at Bose's face. I paused on purpose. Bose is momentarily shocked that Erica let the mask slip. Bitch, that's behind closed doors. We on camera, ho.
When you are in the workplace, when you are in a professional setting, the best thing that you can do to ensure the best results for you in your situation is to level set your expectations from other people. Whether they're the same sex, the same race, ethnicity, level set those expectations.
Wait a minute. Lashings, this is the sweet, nice intro. What y'all mean, lashings? I haven't even gotten to the awkward part yet. Oh, well, shit. I guess we're in for a night.
Expectations, otherwise you will be highly disappointed. The thing you can learn from the situation is that just because your turn has not come as yet doesn't mean it isn't coming. Personally, I'm gonna wait to see the entirety of this show and make my decision, but a lot of people are calling out Bose for being the one kikiing next to Erica as she continuously shades Garcelle. When you are in position, whether it's corporate, workplace, any position, honey, just because it hasn't happened to you as yet doesn't mean that your time will not come. What I've found more times than not is that people didn't speak up until it was happening to them. It's one thing when somebody else is getting attacked, but when those attacks start to trickle into your front yard, then you want to say something because now it's something that you're experiencing firsthand. I'm going to give Bose the benefit of the doubt, but let me say this. The one reason that she can sit on that stage and skin and grin next to the Ice Queen is because Garcelle was the first Black housewife to come into that franchise, and she was the person spearheading the way and calling out all of those microaggressions and holding those ladies accountable.
It's giving ungrateful. Imagine, where's my lip gloss, child? Did I do this live without a lip gloss? Ain't no way. I do too much talking to do this live without lip gloss, so I'm gonna have to get up and find it. Oh, I have a snack over here. I didn't notice. Or did the lip gloss fall? Bitch, I think it fell. Oh no, am I gonna have to get on all four? Oh, this is about to get awkward. I'm gonna let this video play, but I want you guys to understand that it's giving ungrateful. You and Erica could not be friends if it wasn't for the fact that she had already been pre-vetted, pre-trained by Garcelle. There's no way that if you were the first, she would even be your friend. These women are only even open to you because, number one, you're willing to play the game and they're relieved you're not like the Haitian bitch who keeps calling them out. And number two, they've already been dragged for being racist, and so now they have to be nice to you because they want a redemption arc. They probably have convinced themselves it's just friendship. I am telling you without a shadow of a doubt, every single Black woman on that show who Garcelle Bouvet called out for objectively clear racial bias and microaggressions, every time those women get the approval of Bose, they feel vindicated. And they feel fully empowered to dismiss everything Garcelle was trying to teach them. I would bet every dollar I have, and I got some dollars, okay? Garcelle is literally the reason why they took to Bose so quickly. Oh, we already fucked it up the first time. We got to get it right the second time. For those who ask, is Bose African? Yes, she also is Black. We don't do diaspora awards here. We think Black Africans, Black Caribbeans, Black Afro-Latinos, Black Americans, Southern Blacks, Creole Blacks, Mexican Blacks. We consider all Blacks family here. We do not do diaspora awards. So I hope you're asking just as a matter of clarity, not as a matter of diminishing her as a person. Just not that kind of space. All right, let's play the video.
She literally ripped the band-aid off, exposed the ugly truth, and those ladies were not ready for that. The last takeaway that I have for you from this entire situation is that whether you like it or not, there are games at play, there are politics at play, and how you choose to play that game, how you choose to move is going to determine your outcome and your success. Will Bose have a target on her back next season? Probably, because the novelty of the new black friend will probably wear off, but she'll be okay because she knows how to play the game. She comes from a corporate space. She knows how to move in those rooms and around particular types of women, particular people. Garcelle also played the game very well. She came in, got her career refreshed, got booked and busy, and left these ladies in the dust. Take what you can from it, play the game, and exit stage left. And do it on a high note, a Mariah Carey whistle to be exact.
She did do it on a high note. She did it when she was up career-wise. She had all these films being made. She has projects that she was passionate about. Her kids were going off to college. Like, Garcelle really picked a really good moment to say, you know what? I actually don't need this right now.
Well, it's so clear now why Garcelle really is fed up and left. Really, really clear. Did you guys catch when Erica said, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
It was an inside joke. Bose was shocked that she said it like that. So that's indicative of you guys definitely had a conversation about possibly taking Garcelle down next season. And I'm not sure why Andy pretends like he didn't know that Garcelle quit, but it's also clear now why they rushed the finale, why they had Garcelle announce her departure yesterday before the finale aired and before they released the trailer for the reunion, because damage control. Because Empire had all the tea and he was sitting on it for weeks, but he finally dropped it yesterday, and here's what he says about what allegedly went down at this reunion between Bose and Garcelle. So first thing is that Dorit's home robbery comes up again, and allegedly Bose says, if I were in Dorit's shoes, I would have sued you for defamation. So that was the first thing.
Because you remember how there are people who said when Wendy Osefo got accused of suspicious robbery that might have been an insurance scam, people immediately thought of people like Dorit. I hate to say it. By the way, Dorit, let me fix my bang. How do I want to make my bang? I'll make it more newscasterish. I feel like this is like a newscast. Okay. No, Dorit and a couple other housewives have been getting a side eye for what people assumed was an insurance fraud. When Wendy Osefo was in the case, people were like, oh God, is this like another Dorit situation? We all have questions about what really happened. And so for Bose to say, well, Dorit should, if I was Dorit, I would have sued you for defamation, for having concerns and clarifying questions that everybody in the social zeitgeist has had since the beginning. Why are you telling a white woman how to litigiously take down and financially cripple a black woman who has done nothing to you for something so benign? I'm going to try not to use the words I want to use because I respect this lady.
I don't understand how those women on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are so confused as to why Garcelle doesn't want to talk to them no more. Garcelle doesn't want to talk to y'all no more due to the simple fact that she recognized that she was the token black friend to a bunch of white women who did not have her back the same way that she had theirs. And it's
that part, that was a fucking bar.
Clear as day. And evidently, Bose is more than happy to take Garcelle's place. Because she had it out for Garcelle the moment that she stepped on that platform. Weirdo.
The most important thing, we're all touching and agreeing that that lady was brought in to get rid of Garcelle, right?
So I'm not sure I agree with this. I'm not sure I agree that Bose was brought into, because I want to have differing opinions and make sure that I give space to some of the things that I'm constantly hearing and address them head on. Confrontational, not combative, not the same. I think that Bose was brought on to add some more flavor and potentially be a support system or an alternative. I do think that. I think the thought was they'll either be the best of friends or the worst of enemies. Either way, it'll make great TV. And though, I think that Bose has a way of climbing the corporate ladder that people are now questioning because they're saying you have an impressive resume, but part of the reason why your resume is so impressive is because you only stay places about 18 months before you bounce. Why can't you have any retention rates with you staying someplace and building something and watch it launch, right? And there are people in this world who do not want to be at a job for a long time. Up until I worked at the Griot, I think most of my jobs were only about 2 or 3 years, but I was also in my 20s and I wasn't corporate. I was a broke educator trying to start a fucking business, right? But for me, in my 20s, doing work every 2 or 3 years was kind of a thing I was doing as a stepping stone. And when I finally got a digital media job that I loved, I was there for almost a decade though, right? So there have been some questions about Bose and her business. And the only reason I'm justifying and bringing this up is because Bose has spent the last 3 or 4 episodes publicly attacking, chastising, and questioning and casting doubt on the business of another woman who does something very similar to her, but in a different way. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I had always told myself, if I ever do a live on Beverly, I told myself this last year, if I ever do a live on Beverly Hills, I'm going to talk about Garcelle, I'm going to talk about Bose, I'll even talk about the racial stuff, but I'm not going to sit here and share a bunch of rumors about her corporate controversies, because it would be so nasty to take a bunch of rumors that cannot be really vetted because a lot of them are hearsay and speculation about her corporate rise. For me to take that as in any kind of way to attack her on a reality show just feels extra dirty out of respect. Little did I know a year later, Bose would be doing the very thing I said I wouldn't do to Bose would be doing it to somebody else on camera. Well, fuck me then, right? I thought we had a little bit of decorum. So to me, last year, this was completely below the belt. But Bose has made the belt lower. Okay, the belt has a bigger belly. The belt is under the gooch at this point. So fuck it. Fuck it. This is what people are saying about her.
She is very anti-Black, and she is willing to do the bidding of YT people. Cool. Here's the thing that folks aren't talking about. This lady, Bose, she's always touting that she was a C-suite person at Uber and Netflix and maybe HBO or somewhere else, I don't know. But if you look at her resume, she was there for a sum of 2 years, each position. That tells me everything that I need to know.
I haven't done a Housewives rant in a really long time. So
season 1 ends. And I'm going to be honest as we're being transparent. Season 1 ends and a bunch of my friends in this ecosystem are like, hey, yo, is it just me or did it leave a bad taste in your mouth how that season ended with Garcelle and Bose? And I was like, yeah, I thought that I was going to be the president of the Bose fan club. I thought that I would spend every week explaining to y'all how y'all got her fucked up the way I did with Eboni K. Williams. I thought this was going to be like another Real Housewives of New York, where a bastion of white supremacy was going to be, updated with a little bit of flavor. Child, that's not what happened. I was stunned. I never saw it going like this. I honestly never saw it going like this. So the last year ended. Season 14 ended with every Black woman in digital media that I talked to about shows like this, and even a couple of the girls and the boys would be like, so Bose's first season, huh? I was like, yeah, huh? Because it was almost one of those things where you got a whiff of something, but you couldn't fully taste it yet. And what I was thinking is, I don't like this. And though, maybe this is just a weird moment. And because Garcelle is leaving, the fresh start will be more palatable. Because Garcelle, as the other Black woman, won't be there, and there won't be this token on token situation happening subconsciously, or maybe in the hands of the producers. Maybe now that Bose is the only Black woman, we could just see her be fabulous and rich and shimmy and a badass Black bitch, like in the best way possible, right? The only thing that older Black women who got their own in a corporate environment find themselves subconsciously having bias and or ire for than other Black women is younger women. And suddenly, without another nigga in sight, Bose found a very new way to disappoint me. And yikes. Yikes. Somebody said, clock it. I would say this, Bose is making me sad too. She's making me sad. I'm not angry. I'm not going to drag her. I'm just going to hopefully eloquently and fairly explain my disappointment and some of my disdain in the hopes that she or somebody who loves her will have an open ear and receive it in the way it's being given. And rather than dismiss me as an uneducated hater, see me as a reflection of someone who cares about her, who's holding her accountable from a distance. right? So let's watch this video, because this woman, in a very like, what the fuck is going on kind of way, like me, came to the conclusion, like, yikes, what's happening with Bose this season? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. What's happening? Because anybody who likes Bose went through like 5 stages of grief, realizing that she was on some weirdo shit this year. We all want it to be wrong. So let's watch this.
This is about Beverly Hills. The first half of the season, I was like, somebody shut Amanda up. Like, she's so annoying. And then,
for those who don't know, Amanda, I'm gonna pull up a picture of her so you can get a visual of her, since she wasn't in the old picture that I used. Amanda, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, not to be confused with Amanda from Summer House. For the person who asked, yes, I do watch Summer House. And because I watch Summer House, I understand what's happening with Sierra and Amanda and West, and that is a whole other life of its own. But thank you for checking. All right, let's do a share screen so you guys can see what Amanda looks like. Amanda is in her 40s, early 40s. Can you guys see the screen? Hold on, let me bring it up. Take this down. Add to stage. All right, here's the screen. And I'm going to do my best to pick a picture of, actually, let me make myself small. I'm going to do my best. Oh, I went in the wrong direction. Here we go. I'm going to do my best to picture of Amanda that I think is indicative of what we saw. This is actually the perfect picture because she constantly had this picture. All right. This was what Amanda looked like in a lot of the confessionals, right? So very like, let me isolate the picture. Amanda has some really nice pictures, but I really want to use the one, open image, a new tab. I really want to use the one as an ISO. All right. So this is Amanda, y'all. Y'all see it? So Amanda is very much a attractive blonde woman, early 40s, self-made, multi-millionaire. She's worth Bozeman, by the way, is reportedly, we don't know if this is true or not, because I've had reports say people I knew were rich and I knew that they were broke, and people I knew who were broke when they said they were rich. So it's a whole bunch of stuff, right? But they are reporting that Bose is worth about 30 million. Guess who else is worth 30 million? Amanda. Amanda is a former cult survivor. Amanda used to be in a religious cult, and she escaped when she was in her early 20s. But she used all her things that she learned about religion and God and started to switch it into a healthier thing of manifestation. A lot of people who experience church hurt, who love having faith, who love having a doctrine to believe in, who love having a law of morality to follow, when they leave church, still find themselves trying to find God, the God in self, the God in personal growth. And so Amanda went from church to then being a manifestation girly, and she started a program around how she changed her mindset about money, and that once she changed her mindset about money and her relationship with money got better, she was able to manifest it and be more innovative about how to create money opportunities. She teaches a course. Y'all know I teach a course. Mine is way more intense than what I think Amanda's is about, but that's no shade. And as someone who teaches the course, she's building a community. There's classes, there's memberships. And because she's a white woman of a certain age who understands her social equity as just being a blonde, attractive white woman, she's charging 4 or 5 times what I charge for any of my courses, right? But she could get it. And if you could get it and people like it, why not? And it looks like a lot of her people who were following her and paying for her courses were other white women. So again, white on white crime, child, minding my fucking business. So Amanda, while Bose is working up the corporate ladder, shifting every 2 or 3 years, allegedly, and doing whatever she got to do as the Black person in a sea of whiteness to make her way up the ladder, even include some tricky decisions around race and solidarity. Amanda is just talking about manifesting and creating courses and putting on lipstick and living a leisurely life with her husband, who's nowhere near as rich as her, because that would be hard to be as rich as her, and planning her beautiful wedding. And she's annoying because, number one, I always tell y'all this, being emotionally intelligent is annoying because it means you're going to walk into groupthink settings where the whole group is thinking in one way and no part of you wants to play along and get along. You're like, hey, this is me. You like me or not? Emotionally intelligent people are very resistant to groupthink, not in a contrarian way where they want to be special fucking daffodils, but in a, hey, I have free agency, and if it makes sense, I'm aligned with it. And if it doesn't make sense, I'm not going to align with it. I'm not going to pretend I like things I don't like just because the group likes it, right? And so because Amanda is educated in psychology, she actually went to school to be a therapist of some sort, working with children. This will come up later. She worked in a therapeutic field and has a background in counseling and has deep understanding of religion and is a woman of a certain means who understands money and all these other things, she is unflappable. And one thing that also makes her unflappable is Amanda is neurodivergent. So Amanda is a former church girly, a former devout church girly turned manifestation girly who took back her life, became passionate about self-advocacy and therapy, and now runs a business making a significant amount of money teaching courses and showing people how to change their mindset. I literally just described me dipped in white. I recognize that. Yeah, I'm not calling Amanda white blue. Don't worry. Those days are over. But I very quickly realized, oh shit, this bitch has my bio a little bit, minus the 30 million. Okay. Amanda's a multimillionaire. I'm 100,000-aire. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. People come on here pretend they're rich. Bitch, I ain't rich. I am California middle class. Okay. But even in my California middle classness, honey, I was like, oh shit, on paper. Somebody, wait a minute, y'all about to say it? Now hold on. Not friendly fire, friend. Let me say it. No, like on paper. Sorry, I just choked on my own air. I found Amanda annoying, but I also find me annoying sometimes. I probably should have worn a blonde wig just so I could do a bitch stole my look, right? So somebody actually just said bitch stole my look. So as the black adjacent iteration of Amanda, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Amanda's annoying as fuck. And Amanda can't read the room. Is she autistic? We would later find out she's neurodivergent. Amanda is annoying and can't read the room, but she's incredibly emotionally regulated, very articulate, sets excellent boundaries, and can't be bullied. So I don't care she's annoying now. That's how I, as an emotionally intelligent person, if I clock another emotionally intelligent person, even if they inevitably get on my fucking nerves, I'm just impressed you got here, ho. You want to talk about rarefied air? The only thing more rare than being rich is being emotionally intelligent in 2026. So I was like, Amanda is annoying, and then I realized she's annoying, but not just because she's emotionally intelligent. And this is something that fucked with me. Amanda figured out how to out-white the other whites. Amanda is the whitest bitch on the show. Even Kathy Hilton look a little ghetto next to Amanda. Clock it, bitch. Let me tell you, what did I say earlier? When a black woman, even if she's biracial, has a white friend, it doesn't matter that she's half white herself. The whitest bitch wins, right? Because white femininity is the pearl of white supremacy. It's the thing that white masculinity is supposed to protect white damsels, right? So the whiter you can be, and what are the things that make you whiter when you're already white? Being pale, check. Being blonde, check. Having a soft voice, check. Looking like your neck smell like a baby powder because you're so demure, check. Being emotionally regulated, check. Never letting them see you sweat, check. This is the whitest bitch on the show. Everybody is ghetto next to Amanda, child. Amanda's annoying as fuck. She's also the whitest bitch on the show. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I've cracked the case. Yes, blonde hair, blue eyes, red lip, tons of money, soft hair, flat ass, very demure. She is the apple of the eye of the mainstream in her visage. Yes? And she's comfortable. Yes, and she's comfortable in it. She don't even want to shimmy. You know, sometimes when you take up a lot of space, you want to shimmy. She like, no, I'm okay being a daffodil, bitch. Okay? Amanda is the white feminine equivalent of baby powder. So, in a world full of Dorits from fucking Connecticut pretending to have a weird Italian British accent, Kyle Richards, who is Jewish and white but looks Mexican like her husband, who's Jewish and Mexican, Kathy Hilton, who reminds us of every auntie over 60 with a big purse full of candies who don't give a fuck, acts like Kathy Hilton. At this point, she's a little light-skinned to me. I'm not even gonna hold you, okay? Because whiteness means that your proximity to the niggas means something about you ain't right. So Kathy Hilton, ghetto. Kyle looks swirly and brunette. You know, it's really that simple. Oh, your hair is black. That's black enough. Yes? So Kyle is too brunette and swirly, and she be doing gay shit sometimes, also considered deviant. Sutton is just not cool enough. and too old to be a damsel in their eyes. Whatchamacallit? Who are the other white? Dorit, already a fraud. Bose is just a nigga to begin with. At this point, the whitest person breathing that air, unless Lisa Vanderpump comes back, is Amanda. The only white woman who can out-white Amanda is Lisa Vanderpump. And Amanda from Oklahoma. Oh, bitch. Now, that's double white. You get extra points for that. And we need to have a metric of just whiteness, because even within the whites, there's whiter whites, okay? They used to call them wasps back in the day. So Amanda is the whitest bitch on the show, but she's also the baby. Although, like, Amanda's not a baby. She's 40. But, baby, you 67. She could be your baby. I feel like if I could be your mother, I could call you a baby. Yeah? So, all these women in their 50s, Amanda's about to start perimenopause. These ladies have almost finished menopause. Like, come on, man. There's peri and there's post. If you are post-menopause, somebody who is perimenopause could be your baby. Enough. Because they felt like they were trying to do some age shaming. Like, well, she's not 25, bitch. You were 25 3 times over. Because math, yes? Not too much. So, on the show, we see Amanda, and I'm like, Amanda is the baby of the show. But she's a new age baby. She's not a girl boss baby, because the girl bosses are the children of women like Bose. Bose was part of the elder ilk of girl bosses. And there's still some girls. Why y'all saying blue? What I do? What I do? I'm just doing my job, right? And so the girls are like younger now. And the younger girls, particularly the girls who are in this sweet spot of like 30 to about 47, right? Like the older millennial girls, the girls who are not in their 50s yet and don't act like they're in their 50s already, because I think Bose just turned 50, they are very much like, yeah, fuck being a girl boss. I want to have a soft life, though. I like naps. I don't need to outwork you. In fact, you stupid that you had to work so hard and we make the same amount of money. Dummy. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to get my hair done. Might even get me a husband. Yes, I'm going to have enough time to get me some dick. Might even have some babies before 50. Let's just see what happens. They're called Zennials. Yes, that's my age group. Damn, this bitch really is me. This is annoying. So anyways, right? If I was the whitest bitch to ever live, I'd be Amanda. And this is me being objective. So Bose is used to, hi ho, it's off to work we go. We climb the ladder, hi ho, move ho. I said move ho, I'm black. You can't be black too, right? Did I just make a whole, I did. I'm sorry, ADHD. So Bose is doing the hi ho, move ho dance. And, working her way up the ladder. Amanda bought a matcha and sold the course. Same direct deposits. We don't talk enough about the disdain, regardless of race, that older Black women have when younger women get so close to them without paying even a fraction of the price that they paid. There is an unintentional bitterness. Yes. Remember when the cutting room floor was trying to have that lady who's into fashion, I think it was called the cutting room floor, had a job posting for an essential admin role in New York for somebody who works in fashion. And the job basically was Devil Wears Prada, honey. Devil Wears Prada. You have to live in New York. You have to be my Andy to my Miranda. You have to kiss the ring, X, Y, and Z, living in New York. By the way, full-time, essential, $55K a year. And everybody said, now, bitch, who the fuck going to work a full-time job in New York for $55K a year? She can't even afford the bus ride home. What's going on? And the response from people in my age group and older was, but we had to go through that in the 90s and early 2000s and 2010s. Why do you think we were wearing belts to the club? We were getting ready for work while we were already dancing. Trauma. Yeah? You traumatized with some girl boss shit where you working your work close to the club. Shut up 2008. So all the belt around the waist girls at the function are like, now hold on, I don't even get to be off on the weekends, right? I gotta wear office casual at the copy machine just in case I'm going to the club afterwards. Them girls, when they saw this newer ilk of girls figure out how to do it in a softer way with less suffrage, felt jilted. They felt, I can't respect this because I bond over trauma. You see how full circle this is? What did I say was Bose's entry point when she met Dorit? Women like Bose, and that is not supposed to be derogatory. I'm just talking about women who are in her tribe. Who, somebody said, yes, business casual in the club was a trauma response. I'm convinced, okay? Women in the tribe of the ilk of Bose who had to sincerely bust their ass to earn everything they got, who worked both smarter and harder simultaneously, yes? Those women, when they see other women who are close but not quite in their age group, who were born just in time to find another way, while still being their peers, there is a quiet, subconscious, hard to pinpoint unless you know what it tastes like, bias that they have and disdain that they have about these girls that you can only call jealousy. Bitch, who the fuck do you think you are to not pay your dues and you have the same net worth as me? Who the fuck do you think you are to not have my resume, and yet, with no Netflix, yet with no Google, yet without any of my accolades, you were able to make tens of millions of dollars selling a course that tells you how to take your power back and use manifestation when I built something very similar and nobody bought that shit. I'm losing money on it. The very thing that made Amanda rich is the very thing that Bose failed at. Sit with that for a second. Bose, if you tried and it didn't work, that's called a fail. I'm not judging, just perceiving. Don't get mad, friend. Okay. The very thing that made Amanda 30 million is the very thing you failed at. It's not what you're known for. People don't come to you for that. You can sell out a room. You're an amazing speaker. You're a powerful woman. The thing that you couldn't quite figure out is the thing that she's killing. She's making the same money as you 10 years earlier than you with a fraction of the work. You trying to tell me that somewhere in the deepest, darkest places of your ego that you haven't checked, that doesn't have an impact on the way that you come down on her and why your dick gets hard every time she breathes and puts on a red lip? Baby. Again, guys, I don't say anything online I wouldn't say in person. If anybody wants to talk to me about this in person in a space where you can actually get into my section, feel free to know that I'm about that life. Respectfully. Because I know y'all like to make funny videos with cracking jokes at shit, thinking niggas aren't going to clap back. I'm confrontational. All right, let's continue. Because my spirit guys just told me that one of our mutuals might want to be messy. Oh, you could catch it too. Let's continue. Let me take Amanda's picture down and put this back up.
Realizing Amanda is emotionally intelligent. She is annoying. She is sulky. But instead of looking for handouts and marrying rich,
why would she be crying? I'm being fair. This is funny enough. What I'm doing to Bose is what she claimed she was doing to Amanda. What I'm doing to Bose is what Bose claimed she was doing to Amanda. Bose claims that she was giving Amanda tough love and letting her know that you can't dictate how people react to your actions, how adversity is part of growth. And if you're going to be a big girl, you have to be able to take critique without falling apart and being a damsel. So if Bose cries, that make her a hypocrite. I'm giving Bose the exact same energy she gives to Amanda, because if I believe that Bose isn't full of shit, this is okay, right? If you're not full of shit, this is okay, right? Right. So let's continue.
She did the work. Doesn't matter if you support her work or not, she did it. And she ate Dorit up when she said, well, I can write a book. I've proven that.
Oh, when they were bullying Amanda and telling Amanda that her career is fake. Oh, you're so fake. And that she is playing damsel and that nothing is as bad as she's saying, that she's a whiny baby, even though she's not a baby because, bitch, you're only 5 years younger than me. Amanda said, you know what? I'm going to write a book about the cult since y'all seem so fascinated with it. Let's talk about the cult story real quick so you have context for what she's about to talk about right now. When Amanda met the lady, she saw that Kyle Richards and Dorit had some tension from last season because Kyle and Dorit used to be part of a foursome. They were very close, and so were their husbands. Kyle was with her husband, Mauricio. Dorit was with her husband, PK, right? When Dorit and PK started to fall apart, Kyle and Mauricio also started to fall apart. Kyle and Mauricio, because they have 4 kids in 25 years and a much longer marriage and a much, deeper bond in that way, they had to figure out how to be friends because they're 2 adults with adult children who have no reason to be nasty to each other. Dorit and PK, on the other hand, have little babies under the age of 10 who are very impressionable and their marriage is a little bit less well-founded. And they had some scuffle because Dorit was alleging that PK was a raging alcoholic. Those are her exact language, why I'm doing the air quotes, right? I'm not mocking, I'm quoting. So when Dorit says, hey, I'm breaking up, I'm separated from him. I want my husband back, but I'm separated because he's a raging alcoholic. Kyle says, hey, so the 4 of us have been friends for a very long time. You're my friend. He is also my friend, even though you and I are closer. Him and my husband are incredibly close. My husband is hearing his side every day. My husband and I pillow talk. My husband has screenshots. There are things my husband, his very good friend, and me, his good friend, still have access to, regardless of whatever story you tell. And so I don't want to seem like a bad friend, but some of what you're saying is not in alignment with the facts that I'm actually privy to. Now, here's the thing, guys. I'm not a Kyle apologist. The way Kyle did it seemed very fucked up at first. So anybody who doesn't like Kyle has a very good reason, because Kyle's execution is piss poor. Even Kyle herself knows that her execution is bullshit, right? So the execution was wild. But the premise, actually, if you get over the fact that you can't stand Kyle, if you get over the things that Kyle has done to give a bad taste in your mouth, if you get over the fact that, Dorit plays damsel very well with that accent that she's worked so hard on cultivating from Connecticut, Kyle's point actually makes sense. We were a foursome of friends that were very close. Just because y'all broke up don't mean we don't care about him still. And if we are seeing with our own eyes evidence that he is not who you're painting him out to be, watching you call him the father of your children a raging alcoholic and diminishing him and disparaging him on TV every day on a show that we're both on feels awkward to us. Y'all see how we've been bamboozled and thinking Kyle didn't make no sense? Even a broken clock. I'm not a Kyle apologist, so Kyle, don't think we're cool just because I'm being fair to you, right? I'm going to be fair if I don't fuck with somebody. Kyle has done things that I do not fuck with, okay? And though, even I can admit that Kyle ain't shit and she still made a good point. Kyle ain't shit and she still made a good point. And on top of that, Kyle's going through her own divorce. So Kyle's thinking, you're lying about your shit and also not supporting me through my shit, but my shit got a little bit of gay shit in it as well. And allegedly my husband cheated on me. So number one, I'm embarrassed my husband of 25 years might have cheated on me. Number two, when he broke my heart, I met a woman who I fell in love with, didn't even realize I was gay. So my husband's a cheater and I might be a little gay. Okay? Shame times shame, okay? I'm in a space of shame. I am drowning. And at the very moment that I am drowning, because my husband got a dick that has a roving eye, and I might like girls a little bit, I might be a little bit of a homosexual, yes? I might be a little bit on the sexuality spectrum, so now I got to figure out at 50 how to be gay, yes? Are you gay, right? And by the way, I'm pansexual, guys, so these jokes are in-house. While Kyle is grappling with her perfect husband, who has been voted the top 10 hottest husbands in Bravo for the entire time that he's been breathing. While my hot-ass husband that made everybody envy me might have stepped out on me, and I'm finding out that I might have queer leanings, while also mourning the fact that he's my favorite person on earth, and if we could just stay together, I wouldn't be doing none of this gay shit. Fuck y'all, right? I wouldn't be a pride if my nigga was acting right, yes? Who of us has not said that once or twice? Let me stop. Right? Kyle at the club crying into the arms of a soft butch with tender hands and strong arms because her husband couldn't act right, allegedly. And I decided to give up drinking because I don't want to be an alcoholic like my sister who talks in cursive all the fucking time. Okay? My sister's already an alcoholic, confirmed, admitted, an addict. My other sister disassociates and is constantly playing with straw hats somewhere, counting her money. I don't want to fall into that trap. So I'm going to start working out and give up alcohol so I can be of sound mind and body. Thank you. I'm not lying. Is that not what happened? In the middle of this shit show, I go on set and find out that you've been telling everybody that PK, my homie, is a raging alcoholic, and you're crying that I'm giving you the side eye because what you're saying and what I know don't resemble each other. And now everybody's telling me I'm a horrible friend because I'm not helping you lie while I'm drowning in my own bullshit. The entire last season was Dorit and Kyle gonna help me. Well, help me, bitch. Well, help me, bitch. Bitch, help me first. Help me, help me. Everybody was screaming, help me, right? But Kyle's thinking, I'm only lying about eating vagina. I'm not lying on my nigga, though. Again, I'm not throwing Kyle Bill. I'm just saying what happened objectively. If I take away the fact that I wasn't a Kyle fan before this happened, can we just be honest? That's what actually happened. Okay? Help me, bitch. Help me, help me. Everybody yelling, help me. And Kyle's thinking, well, I'm the only person yelling, help me, who's only lying on puss. I'm not lying on people. Yeah? And suddenly, that's when the Kyle versus Dorit feud begins. Because the other black girl dynamic doesn't just happen with black women. It happens with rich whites, right? Black women fight at the bottom and white women fight at the top. We're both still doing friendly fire. And Kyle is like, wait a minute, Dorit. You a little bit of a liar. You a little bit of a full of shit. I low-key agree with PK sometimes when he talks about your bullshit, because some of the shit that you do, I find fucking annoying. So I don't have to take his word for it. I already agree you annoying sometimes. And on top of that, now you lying and telling them that you're being a Karen to me. Last year, Dorit out-womaned everybody in the room, including Kyle. This year, Amanda out-white-womaned Dorit. Why don't white crime is delicious? This shit might be a new genre. We might have to have a whole show. The way that they created the term black on black crime as a way to convince y'all that black people are pathologically more violent than anybody else, was statistically showing all people kill their own kind the most due to proximity and familiarity. All people kill their own the most. White people kill other white people the most when they're in proximity to each other, unless they're doing, like fucking waging war on countries that are struggling. But let me not be too political. Statistically speaking, in a neighborhood of whites, white people are going to kill more white people. Familiarity. Black people kill black people the most. Asian people kill Asian people the most. All people create crime against their own the most. And yet, the GOP has created the term black on black violence to make you convinced that we are pathologically more violent than everybody else. That's why white on white crime tickles the fuck out of me. Reparations, right? And any white folks I know who and trust and respect agree with me. Argue with your mother. So now the Dorit and Kyle feud becomes, well, who's the whitest woman at the table? Who is the most oppressed by men? Because white women are not oppressed by race, so gender is the only thing they got going. Yeah? Every other type of woman has to fight another battle. White women just being a woman is the only thing that's fucking with them. So they're having a white woman standoff. They're having a white woman standoff. And in the middle of the white woman standoff is Garcelle Buffet saying, hey, you're both white women, but Dorit, your microaggressions are actually really, really painful. And you won't check them. And you talk over me when I point them out. That's not okay. And Dorit's like, oh, it's bad enough that I'm arguing with a peer, another white woman, but a black has called me racist. I can't be racist. I'm Jewish. There's never been a racist Jewish person in the history of time. So yeah, that's how we ended the season with Dorit and why Dorit and Kyle had beef. Dorit won last year as the whitest white woman at the table. Yeah? And because she was legacy, they could take her side because there was no gamble. You're an OG. So if an OG out white woman's another OG, may the whitest woman win. And last year, that was Dorit, because Kyle was off doing gay shit with her swirly, sexy husband and her alleged girlfriend. Yeah? Oh my God, will Kyle and Mauricio get back together? Oh no, Mauricio is dating Anita, the Brazilian singer with the big booty. Oh no, Kyle's tongue kissing a soft stud white, no, studs can't be white. A soft butch fucking lesbian cowboy. Oh my God, Kyle's kissing lesbian cowboy. She eating vagina. Dorit, you win. A celibate blonde who looks very frail will always beat a raging homosexual any day in the white wars. Yes? So, Trust me, we're all incredibly tired of Kyle. Somebody said, Blue, I love when you mix political education and reality shows. That's what I'm here for, right? So last year, Dorit wins the white women off with a brand new black bodyguard. Turns out she wouldn't need the black bodyguard because Garcelle left. However, the black bodyguard came in handy because just when Dorit thought that her place as the most fragile damsel white was solidified, they introduced a younger, whiter white, Amanda. And this, yes, studs can't be white, y'all. Stud is a term for black queer women. Stud is a black term. Yes, studs cannot be white. Y'all could be whatever else, but you're not a stud, baby. That's a black term. So now Bose is serving as a HR hire, right? She's HR for the corporation of Dorit, the reigning white. And here comes Amanda. And in the same way, when you watch Paradise, actually, I don't want to remember Paradise, but in Paradise, there's an assassin who tells the president, "You are the reason why you're always safe with me is because if you die, I have no purpose." Same thing between Bose and Dorit is what I saw in Paradise between Sinatra and Jane. Okay, Bose is the Jane. Shout out to the Paradise fans. Shout out to Sutton K. Brown. He started following me recently. I love him. So Bose is Jane. She's the bodyguard, while Sinatra is Dorit, the reigning white woman. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has always been about who is the reigning white woman. Lisa Vanderpump was the reigning white woman who was dethroned by Kyle. Kyle was the reigning white woman who was dethroned by Dorit. And now Dorit is the reigning white woman who was threatened and shook up, but not dethroned by Amanda. Because the one thing that stopped Amanda from dethroning Dorit is when Dorit took her Game of Thrones kill shot on Kyle about being the whitest bitch in town, Dorit had seniority. Amanda out-whited Dorit way too early. She was the whitest bitch in the room her first season before she had seniority. So now there's this awkward thing that's happening, right? The reigning white has convinced her bodyguard black and all the other whites that the former reigning white is the problem because she's not being a girl's girl and she's not having her back. And she's having the audacity to point out that she might be lying about what's happening with her and PK to some degree for the cameras. Because Kyle is thinking, well, bitch, I used to love you and PK, but me and PK don't have beef. PK didn't spend all last season tussling with me. Now, am I full of shit? Obviously, I'm full of shit. But again, me and PK have less beef than me and you. So now when PK tells me you're bullshit, I'm extra prone to having his side because, ho, I don't fuck with you anymore. But I can't say I don't fuck with you anymore because deep down, we're both still reigning whites. And a part of me in a tribalism way still wants the best for you, even if I don't want you to win above me. There's a solidarity that white women have with each other, even after they take kill shots. I could watch two rich white women who have not checked their racial bias tussle for years and be lovely to both of them. I know if push came to shove, they would choose each other over me. Can we be honest? Tribalism by way of white supremacy. If racial PTSD is in our DNA, they found that in our DNA. We don't think that white supremacist leanings and feelings of internalized superiority are also in the DNA of white people, even the good ones. And that's why they have to face them in order to eradicate them. It's a cancer that they're born with that they have to eradicate. By design, we're all born with it, right? Except we're not born with it with the privilege that they have. So we can't really eradicate it as much as we can just confront it and heal from it. They can actually eradicate it, right? And so this interesting thing happens when this season starts. Amanda comes in as a neurodivergent, non-girl boss baddie with big money, thinking you all talk about how much money you got, so I'm going to come in here and play along. Y'all got money? I got money. And she starts to get this reputation of being a one-upper. A lot of neurodivergent people are obnoxious because they can't read the room. And so if they see you doing something, they're like, oh, I got next. They're not realizing, hey, nobody's playing tennis right now. Sit down, right? And so Amanda starts to get a reputation as a one-upper because every time they have something, oh, you have a Bottega? I have 3 Bottegas. Oh, you have a Bentley? Oh, I have a fleet of them. And my champagne is never burnt. Yes? Did I mention that I'm only 40 and have all the money that you have at 50? Y'all trying to tell me that there's no generational bias in this? So there's many things at play, guys. There's Dorit freaking out that Amanda is out white womaning her. Amanda's tears are younger, fresher, and fatter. Okay? Her crow's feet are softer. All right? You've been out whited. Yes? So that's what Dorit is salty. Bose is annoyed because if Dorit ain't got a job, I ain't got a job, bitch. So if you come for her, you come for me. Jenga on chain in this bitch. Yes? Let me rock master to sleep. Stop playing with her. Right? So Bose is just playing her fucking position that she wrangled from Garcelle. Sutton is like, I done lost my favorite black. I'm just wandering through this show with no friends. The white girl said that they would accept me now that my favorite black is gone. Let's see if that works. Am I missing anything? This is really what's happening on the show right now. Okay? And Kyle is like, wait a minute. Dorit, you're being really unfair to Amanda. Wait, Amanda, you're being attacked by Dorit and you're not cowering. Amanda, you're out white womaning Dorit. Could it be the enemy of my friend is my... No, could it be the friend of my enemy is my new friend? How do I say it? Could it be, help me. Could it be the enemy of my old friend is my new friend? Yes. See how I work through that? Kyle was sincerely appalled by what Dorit was doing to Amanda because Dorit had just done it to her. A lot of y'all calling Kyle fake. I don't think Kyle is fake. Kyle is realizing that Dorit is going to bulldoze and try to out white women, every white woman who comes in. So Kyle is not being altruistic. Kyle is saying, oh my God, we are trauma bonding. What did I say? Dorit and old girl bonded over trauma. Dorit and Bose bonded over trauma. But Kyle and Amanda are actually trauma bonding. They're experiencing the trauma of Dorit together. Every single time a duo trauma bonds over their problems with Dorit, who jumps in and makes it their business to save the throne? Bose. It's Garcelle and Sutton all over again, except this time Bose is against two white women. And the only place that she is superior is she is older and wiser than the baby white who threatens the throne. Do y'all now see why subconsciously, in ways that Bose probably hasn't even checked herself unless she had a really great conversation with her therapist, finds herself on a visceral level feeling disdain for Amanda? I don't even think Bose knows she's doing some of this. I'm clear she's doing it, though. When I say I'm going to do a deep dive, honey, I do them different. So, yeah. So now we're caught up to this season where everybody's like, Kyle is constantly defending Amanda because Amanda is being treated by Dorit the same way Dorit treated Kyle. Kyle is not innocent in this. Kyle and Dorit did tussle for the throne. Dorit just happened to win. So everything that Kyle's annoyed about Dorit, Kyle has also done to Dorit. So it's Spider-Man, Spider-Man. But because Amanda's going through a fresh pain that she went through, she does feel some protection about Amanda. She also thinks Amanda is proof that what happened with her and Dorit was not a fluke and that Dorit actually is just becoming undone and power hungry. Right? When it happens to just me, I'm just a bitter crony who lost to you. When it happens to Amanda the following season, that's a pattern that's substantiating that maybe you're not who everybody thinks you are. And maybe what PK said about you being conniving was true after all. So Kyle has a vested interest in protecting Amanda because what's happening to Amanda actually proves what happened to her. And Bose is annoyed by anybody who threatens the throne. Because Bose now is with the queen, which means everybody else in the show is Bose's friend, except for Kyle and Amanda. She's nice to them, but they're not included in the friend circle in the same kind of shit-talking way that her and Erica did when Erica was saying, you know, won't he do it? She wasn't. Kyle and Amanda are not in the won't he do it circle. Bose is, though, and the won't he do it circle has now grown because Dorit is the new queen. And those of us who understand these dynamics, we've been around bitches like this, are clocking it.
And it's just really hard to stand behind the other women this season, especially Bose. So disappointed in Bose. Like, love Bose, champion Bose, have, like, loved her and Dorit's friendship. But, like, how disappointing is it?
Those who said, let me go sign up for this emotional intelligence course. Yes, guys, the Wednesday class is sold out. We still have Thursday class open. Please go to fall26.eventbrite.com. limited seating, and shout out to everybody who sold out the Wednesday class. All right, let's continue watching.
To watch somebody so secure and so successful actively try to put another woman down, especially in the workforce. And like, Bose, this isn't corporate America. You're not her boss. She doesn't have to report to you. She doesn't have to explain herself to you. Stop putting her. Bose has made Amanda likable.
Yep.
She has. And that's just my take. Kyle, exhausting. So sick of Kyle. When's the last time?
Do you see how we can all appreciate Kyle having Amanda's back, find Amanda annoying, and call out Bose? Because critical thinking doesn't mean that you have to paint everything in broad strokes, and nuance means several things can simultaneously be true. For those of you who have a hard time not seeing things in black, everything in here is gray.
You asked about my divorce, Dorit. Never. Never. Dorit, sick of it. She's looking like cigarette face. I know that's me.
By the way, please like the live. And if you're not a member, become a member. I keep forgetting. I'm so bad at promo. I like talking to y'all so much. I forget to do all the YouTube promo shit. Like the live and hype the live and all the fun stuff so more people can see this video.
But what I'm saying is this whole divorce, it's getting to her. I think Dorit needs a season off. I think
it does.
Kyle needs to just retire, like hang it up. Like she's so, like I've never been a Kyle fan, but that's just me.
Don't y'all hate when y'all get that white line from your lip gloss? Is it gone? Okay, it's gone.
Erica, I'm not really sure what her storyline like is, but I don't mind it. I don't mind her just being there. It wouldn't be the same without her. Sutton, whatever her name is.
By the way, after Sutton lost her good black in Garcelle, she changed her name to Sutton Brown because her husband had finalized a divorce from 1800 years ago. And she was like, I'm just going to change my name to Brown. So Sutton, after Garcelle, had to literally rename herself like Clark Kent versus Superman. It was a whole lot. Storyline didn't work, though. For those who are mentioning Carlos's interview with Amanda was excellent. And a little snippet of it will be featured tonight.
Realized... But she's smart too. She realized they better be nice to Amanda because this is all going to backfire, and it is. And then like, who else am I forgetting? Natalie. I don't even know who she is. Who is that? Right.
So I just got done watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I kind of have a unique take on why most of the ladies hate Amanda. I feel it's because they can't reconcile the fact that she does practically nothing and makes so much money. Like they cannot actually.
The older women who married well or climbed and clawed their way up the corporate ladder are now sharing equitable space with a younger woman who simply manifested. Come on. Can we all admit that if I was an old bitch, I would find this shit annoying? I'm not calling them old bitches. I'm just being facetious. But like, it's such a tale as old as time.
Believe that people make this much money online. And the fact that most of them have had to suffer through horrible marriages, horrible work-life balance, working in corporate America, and clawing their way up the ladder to make that same amount of money probably pisses them off. So I feel like there's a lot of jealousy within that hate bracket too. Obviously, Amanda is a hot pill to swallow sometimes, but I feel like most of the hate comes.
Amanda is a hot pill to swallow. Again, we're not pretending like she's this perfect damsel. We're saying she's a person.
From jealousy, in my opinion.
I don't like to come on this app and get at black women. That's not what I do. But I feel like it's time to have a conversation about Bose and St. John.
So I intentionally didn't watch this video because this creator seems very reasonable and seemed that she wanted to hold Bozeman St. John accountable while also recognizing her value in the ecosystem. And so this kind of critique felt like it was the safest way to hear another black woman say what her reservations are about how Bose is showing up and how she's continuing, even in present tense on social media, making a mockery of the teachable moments where she should be more humbled by her L's than continuing to pontificate. Imagine taking an L and still thinking that you're going to have a TED Talk. No, this is the time where you should be listening to a TED Talk, not giving one. So Bose has an air of superiority and smugness even when she's apologizing. Because she's had to apologize because she was caught lying to and about what happened in relation to her and Amanda. And she had to come clean. And even her apologizing about getting caught lying on camera, she still made a mockery and a joke of it and then tried to give us a speech. How are you giving me a speech when you failed? I feel like W's don't have to be listening to L's, right? If you have an L, why are you talking like, okay, well, I mean, 2 L's do make a W, so I guess let's continue.
Because I personally am disappointed and annoyed. Let's get into it. So most of us Black women who are in any kind of leadership looked up to Bose St. John at some point. Absolutely. She has had a prolific career. Her net worth is $30 million. She has been the CMO of companies like Uber and Netflix and Apple. We love that for her. But seeing her on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has shown me a new side and illuminated some things that I hate to see, and I might have to jump off of the bandwagon. Now, keep in mind, I have actually seen Bose St. John at a fireside chat that she did for Spotify when I was working there. So I've up close and personal heard the words that she had to say about her career. And while I'm happy for her success, I can't understand why a woman worth $30 million would make it her life's mission to call another woman that's worth $30 million a scammer every second that she's on camera. Now, you don't have to like Amanda Francis. You don't have to care for her at all. But the point is, why is Boz bullying her so heavily? Because you want to know what I find to be very interesting. That the basis of her bullying Amanda Francis is that your business is a scam because you...
By the way, I don't take bullying lightly. After the last 3 episodes, this is teetered into bullying.
You teach manifesting and you do online courses. Except if you go to Boz's website, she started doing online courses 2 years ago. And you want to know what one of the modules are in her course? Manifesting.
Yep.
Make that make sense. So you're calling this woman a scammer for doing the same thing that you started doing 2 years ago. I think what's really happening is, first of all, you are mad that this lady made $30 million and she got there 10 years before you because you are 50 and she is 40. And she got there not from
bitch, not us having the same thoughts. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love this.
Corporate money, from her own face, from her own brand, selling courses, selling books.
Yep.
Selling digital materials. You're just mad. And I don't like to see a successful Black woman be a hater because you have no reason to be a hater. You're too successful to be a hater. Mm-hmm. You should be talking about your own business. If someone wants to come on there and talk about their own business, you can call them a grifter, but you should be talking about yours. This whole time you've been talking about her business and not yours. That's a shame. Also, you're letting some brother who doesn't seem to have much to bring to the table try to convince you at 50 years old to have a baby, and he's already presenting you with what happens if I don't have any money. Why are you entertaining this nonsense?
Oh yeah, at 49, Bose is trying to have a fertility journey and it's not going well, and I'm not going to crack jokes about that because that's a really personal thing and it's a really painful thing. So as far as Bose's fertility journey, I do want to see that as sacred ground and not take any low blows about that.
See, this is the type of thing that I coach around. Do not act like a Black woman with a mother wound, because you know what that looks like? Being a pick me, being successful but being miserable, being hypercritical of other people, not being happy with your own achievements no matter how much you've achieved. That's how this looks. You can be highly successful and still act in a wounded way that makes you look terrible in public. And I'm really sad to see this of Boz, and I really feel that before she does another season, she needs to go ahead and like step back and address some of these things personally and heal and come back out, because it's not looking good. And it's not setting a good example. And you never want to look like a rich hater. Like, that's the part I can't, like, there's...
When I was on Jesse Wu and I said I have A-list enemies, there's a lot of rich haters. I hate those memes. Nobody doing better than you is hating on you. Have you noticed that nobody doing better than you is ever hating on you? Really? Have you never been to LA or New York or Atlanta or Miami? Have you never been to Dubai or London or Milan or Paris? What are you talking about? Rich haters exist all over the world. Y'all just be saying anything on internet. I swear to God. The toxic positivity crowd has taught y'all so many memes that don't make no fucking sense.
Okay.
If you're a smart, capable, and confident female...
So I wanted to have another teachable moment, as if we haven't had enough. There is actually a name for what Bose has done to Amanda. I was watching with Bridget and we were both like, oh my God. And I was like, no, there's a name for this. And today I looked it up and I figured it out. There is a name for what Bose has done to Amanda. It's called Queen Bee Syndrome. I didn't make it up, guys. It's a real term. Bose is having a queen bee flare up with Amanda, and I sought out a video where someone could explain to you guys what Queen Bee syndrome is.
Reporting to a competitive ladder climbing female boss, your job security may be at risk due to what psychologists call the Queen Bee syndrome. Here's why a female boss may oust you for being a strong female performer. 1, she sees you as a threat. In competitive male-dominated environments especially, some women feel there's only room for one at the table. Your confidence, ideas, or popularity can trigger her comparison, insecurities, and negative thoughts. Instead of mentoring you, she'll protect her status by undermining or pushing you out of the company.
Bose will say things like, Amanda, we all been through shit. We all up here looking stupid, going through shit, and you trying to act like your life is perfect because you're worth $30 million and you're fertile and you have all these healthy babies and a man that loves you and a wedding that's coming up soon and an empire built in the thing that I couldn't get off the ground, and you did it 10 years before me, and you're acting like your life is perfect. That is fake. You are insecure. You're insecure because you are not fulfilled. Hold on, my doctor's calling. Hello? What you mean? He said that if it's okay if I don't have a baby, but if he loses all his money, will I still love him? Hold on, I'll be right back. Yeah, Amanda, you fake. Your life can't be as perfect as you say it is. Bitch.
2, she punishes your confidence rather than rewarding it. She may hire you for your confidence initially, but later criticize you for it once you're in the role because she feels insecure around more secure females. She dismisses your ideas or reframes them as bad if they don't come from her. She minimizes or ignores praise that you receive from others for a job well done because the praise doesn't center around her. If she's looking to make budget cuts, she'll keep the females on her team who are more insecure and compliant than the female who is confident or offers different perspectives than her own. 3, control matters more to her than collaboration. Insecure female leaders need to feel like the smartest or most admired woman in the room. She'll restrict your visibility.
What do you mean you have a course? I sell courses. So how about you tell me what your course does and you do me a pitch and I'll tell you if I approve. Bose, she doesn't need you to approve her pitch. She already made $30 million. She's worth as much as you. Why are you making her justify herself as if she's having a review at work? You know you're not HR, right? This is a show. I don't care. Explain yourself. Well, Bose, since you asked me to explain myself, I make, I have an 85% return rate, which is incredible for. Wait a minute. Why are you reading off your resume? Didn't nobody tell you to read off your resume? Just because the sign on the door says HR and I said, come in for your HR review doesn't mean I want you to come for HR review. Yeah, I know I asked you a question and you answered it in the exact way that I asked it, but now I'm going to call you insecure. Your life's not perfect. I know you a lie. Learn from this. Bitch, what? At what point, Amanda, neurodivergent Amanda, much like me, sees Bose doing a bunch of stuff and says, I'm just going to get quiet and watch. And Bose sees Amanda set a boundary and say, hey, I'm uncomfortable. What do you mean you're uncomfortable? You're so whiny. Why are you always whining? You can't tell people how to react to you. And I mean, this isn't a confessional. Bose is screaming at me that I can't tell people how to react to me while she's telling me how to react to her. Y'all not seeing this? You know the meme of the little woman in the bed while the other girl is above her screaming and the little woman's under the blanket just looking at her like, okay, bitch, if you say so. That was Amanda the entire time. Amanda out white woman everybody. Everybody. Dorit jumps in. And Amanda, with her Puerto Rican, Connecticut, Italian accent. Amanda, okay? Clearly, okay? You and Kyle have a plot. Okay? You have a plot against me, and that is why. That is why. And Amanda's like, you yell at me every time we go to dinner. So how am I going to open up if every time I open up you yell? How about if I don't open up so you don't yell? Here's Bose. No, if you don't open up, you a fake bitch. Why wouldn't you open up? How can we be your friends if you won't open up to us? We are safe. You can't sharpen a knife while telling somebody that you're safe. And then say, why won't she open up? I'm safe. Bitch, what? Words mean things. And the best example of how they're not safe, Amanda told everybody, like on her first scene, hey, I do this. I'm very rich. I'm very fabulous. I'm very blonde. I'm very white. Yes, I'm such a white woman. Also, I had twins and one of them died. It's kind of devastating. I've had a life full of trauma, and I've used manifestation as a way to pull myself out of it. She told everybody about her dead baby at the very beginning. Somebody said, don't accept it. What? Her accent is so phony. It's so funny, right? And so Amanda tells everybody as soon as she gets there, hey, I've had a really interesting life. Trauma like the death of a child has happened to me. I'm very, very happy that I've manifested myself into wealth and happiness and joy and found new love. Yes? When Kyle is talking to Amanda, because Kyle is the one who has now become the only person who's defending Amanda, because Kyle is the only person who knows what it's like to be in a white woman battle with Dorit, right? Nobody else has ever tussled for the throne with Dorit like that except for Kyle. So only Kyle really understands what Amanda's going through. Kyle is like, hey, you ready to go to Dorit and Erica's party because they're cancers? So many feelings, yes? Amanda says, I'm a little sad. Kyle says, why? She's like, today is the anniversary of my son dying. And, you know, he's a twin. So his brother, who looks just like him and is the exact age he would be, is still with us. But it's just devastating that my son is dead. Kyle says, oh, my God, bitch, why are you coming? She's like, you know what? It's okay. This will be a nice distraction. I'll go hang with the ladies, have me a nice meal for this birthday function, and then come home and, like, hold my husband and look at pictures of my beautiful baby boy. She goes to the function. Dorit sits down at her own birthday dinner that's supposed to be about the day of her birth. Hello, I need to talk to you right now. Amanda looks around like, I know she's not talking to me. Amanda, so I've been told that you've been sitting around talking with Kyle about how I am inappropriate for calling my husband a raging alcoholic, deadbeat dad, hateful piece of shit, just because my children have Wi-Fi and might see this someday, like tomorrow. How dare you tell me that I'm not allowed to speak unkindly about my estranged husband, who is the father of my young children? How dare you? Amanda says, well, I used to be a therapist who works with children, so I have clinical training in this, and I was just saying, how dare you? How dare you? And Amanda says, okay, bitch, check it. I was going to try to engage with you, but on some real shit, my son died. This is the anniversary of him dying. And I thought I could tell, so I can't. I'm tired. Can we not do this right now? Now, here's the thing. At this point, I'm thinking there's no way in hell Dorit's not going to be like, oh my God, Amanda, I'm so sorry. The child is a blessing, right? I'm expecting that. Dorit goes, blinks, and then says, I'm sorry that happened to you. Don't you ever talk about me and my marriage again, because how dare you? You don't know me and my children. You don't know my husband. And Amanda's like, wait, you still talking? What's going on? Bitch, I told there's a dead baby. Usually in most dinner parties, fuck Beverly Hills, Compton. Most dinner parties, you mention a dead baby, everybody chills the fuck out. What do you mean you still want to talk about this? And if you don't know me, how dare you talk about me and my husband? Amanda says, oh, so check it. I thought the dead baby thing was going to dead this because dead baby, yeah? So you still going off at me. And I'm about to burst into tears. So I have never been talked to like this at what was supposed to be a birthday dinner by the birthday girl. Yeah? I'm gonna head on out. Here comes Bose. Oh my God, how childish. You are a child. You are a grown woman. You can't deal with adversity. You can't deal with people being combative and trying to jump you on the day that your son was lost his life just because, you know, you might need some space and grace and time to mourn. You're so childish. Ugh, you 40-year-old baby. I mean, it's like, no, it's not a baby. I told you that I didn't have capacity because I didn't. And we could have had the conversation on another day and you kept going. And so I removed myself because when you set a boundary and you enforce it and the person doesn't want to respect it, you're supposed to leave because boundaries are not about being punitive to other people. They're about removing yourself when you're unsafe, which is what I did, which is the opposite of childish. Words mean things, Bose. Amanda leaves. She comes back. Another dinner. Dorit's, and then Dorit's like, Amanda, I'm sorry that your baby is dead. Can we now talk about how you have me fucked up? Dorit's, and then Amanda's like, wait, what? No, guys. Okay, so every time I come here to have Brussels sprouts with y'all and crudité platters and shit, y'all can't keep doing this. I just saw, like, baby, can we eat a meal without it being so combative? Here comes Bose. You are childish. Only children want to eat meals without combat. Combat is a necessity of being an adult. Where's your performance review? Come to the office. Bose, you're not HR, Bose. Put the clipboard down. Oh, sorry. Continue, Dorit. Amanda's like, yeah, y'all, this is becoming a pattern now. Where y'all keep being combative. And I just wanted to eat my Brussels sprouts in Beverly Hills. Dorit says, well, Amanda, I have a question. You're saying that me attacking you on the day that your dear baby had died was uncouth of me. I've already apologized, so I'm absolved now. However, I've learned here that you, Amanda, and then she grabs like a notebook or something. You used to be in a cult. How is it that you were in a cult? And Amanda's like, wait, yes, I was in a cult once and I fled. What does God do with you attacking me? Even after I told you my baby was dead and I needed a second? Well, Amanda, how is it that you fled a cult yet me simply asking you questions about the day of my dear birth? How is that the worst you've been through? Is a cult not worse than me cussing you out in front of millions of Americans and attacking you while you're mourning a dead child? I feel like a cult is worse than that. Amanda's like, no, I kind of just got in my car and drove off. It wasn't worse than this. This is actually worse. Andy Cohen didn't watch me drive off, and I'm not going to do a reunion special about getting in my car and driving off. This, though, it's about to be a meme. People are going to start, dissecting the validity of me mentioning my dead child, even though I told you I had a dead child when I first met y'all. And yeah, I feel like this is worse than leaving the cult, respectfully. And Kyle is like, whoa, Dorit, this is a little fucked up. Let's continue watching.
Withhold or take credit for your ideas, and retaliate against you when you shine. This is not good leadership. This is power protection that prevents other women from having a seat at the table. When an organization has one or more queen bee female bosses.
By the way, the organization is Housewives. The queen bee female boss is Dorit. The queen bee enforcer is Bose.
It'll start losing talented, highly qualified women, and the culture will turn competitive instead of collaborative. And if you join a team and notice most of the women on the team play small while the female boss calls the shots, recognize that as a red flag. If you're a female who's great at what you do, you're well-liked, and you're confident, but you report to an insecure, competitive female boss, know that you can't grow under a leader who needs you to shrink so that she can feel more powerful. Choose leaders who are secure enough to elevate others.
I want you guys to understand the corporate environment that creates the normalized dysfunction that Bose thinks is self-righteous on the show. Bose, the more fucked up and dysfunctional Bose's rhetoric is, the more self-righteous her responses are. And I had to show her grace by saying, who taught her this bullshit? I'm showing you the ecosystem of normalized dysfunction that taught Bose that what she is doing is righteous and reasonable, even though I'm calling bullshit.
Be unpopular, but girl boss culture might be the worst thing that's ever happened to women. Hear me out. Girl boss culture has convinced an entire generation that...
Hey, someone just said, Blue, they need you and watch what happens live with Andy. I'm down. Give me some security, but I'm down.
Empowerment looks like exhaustion. Work harder, wake up earlier, lean in more, smile through burnout, and call it ambition. And for a while, a lot of us believed that, likely because we were trying so hard to prove that we belonged in rooms that were never designed for us. Even still, somewhere along the way, success turned into performance. Women running companies while running households, building careers while carrying emotional labor for everyone around them. Trying to win a game that was built around someone else's life structure. And now we're waking up and realizing something far more important. Freedom doesn't come by copying someone else's system.
Freedom doesn't come by copying someone else's system
that burned everyone out. It comes by designing a life that works for you. Your energy, your priorities, your definition of success.
So all the women with the big shoulder pads who raised women like Bose, women like Bose who became the aunties of women like me and Amanda, they were told that you had to be hardened and burnt out because it was noble to be a mule to society in order to get what a man got and be a girl boss. Again, they're now watching women who are a decade or even less younger than them pivot right after them. Imagine if the world was about to change and get better and it happened right after you left the room. They're watching people who are just this much younger than them, right? A decade or so, doing everything they got without any of that pain while still having the man and the baby in the house and the softness and the demureness and the pearls. So the girl bosses are finding it very tricky to show grace to the woo-woo girlies because they think the woo-woo girlies are lacking substance. And yet, baby, how am I lacking substance if we're going to the same bank and I sleep better? Is it a lack of substance, or am I just more covert in my softness, right? We have been taught that the softness of femininity is a liability to advancement, and now we're seeing a lot of soft bitches get rich. Well,
because the power move is not becoming the perfect worker. It's building a framework for work that fits your life.
Nobody in this world is less of a girl's girl than your older manager who's dissatisfied with her life.
One of the absolute worst mean girl bullies that I ever had in my entire career was when I worked in the beauty industry and I had a new DM come in and she was older, and you could tell, I have no problem with any of these things, but I could tell.
If I ever did a show, I probably would want to teach my class to like celebrated people and public figures and see how they grapple with it, like having ego deaths and, you know, working on their emotional intelligence. For those who are asking, the class is streaming fall 26 at eventbrite.com. Actually, do we have any tickets left? Let me make sure I'm not promoting something. I'm gonna look at the ticket sales before I keep promoting it, but I did open up a new day of class. So Wednesday sold out. We're still selling Thursday. Also, guys, I added a small extra batch of candles, and I added 6 more bundles of the Protect Your Neck candles for the Cinco de Mayo sale. It's also in the ticker at the bottom, and I also added, I think, 5 or 10 more spots in the birthday party. We are now capped at the birthday party, but a couple people asked me to add more spots. So currently, not everything is sold out. I found ways to keep y'all engaged because y'all cuss me out when I sell out too fast. And so I'm trying to work with my team to build more capacity. So I have been listening. Okay. Sorry for the small commercial. I just want you guys to know I do listen to your emails and your feedback.
Tell that she was so dissatisfied with herself. She was an extremely tall, not extremely tall. She was just much taller than me, broader than me. She was at least 25 years older than me, and she was constantly getting work done, like getting her neck tucked, like doing all these things. And she was what we would call nicety. Nicety is when you are actually being nasty, but you smile and it comes off as you're being nice. Like you look nice, but there's this just venom and undertone to what you're saying. And she was constantly like this.
I feel like all women eventually have to learn the hard way how to clock that.
Absolutely steamrolled me. And I mean, in the worst bullying kind of way. She was extremely threatening. She pulled me into her office one time and actually sat her chair in front of the door facing me and was pointing at me as she was talking to me. And at this point, I mean, I was in my mid-20s, you know, I had already been in work for 10 years by now, and just absolutely no reason to be speaking to me like that. But it was like if corporate had seen her, that would not have gone over well. Like she was insane. But in the beauty industry in particular, you have so many people that are focused on how they look and the beauty world and all this. So when you have people in leadership, especially these mean girl types, that can get away with this stuff secretly, like pulling people into offices where they can bully, it's just another level of volatile. And
by the way, Rachel Zoe has now joined the Dorit cluster. And I think even though I love Rachel Zoe, watching her show back in the day, I think there's some normalized dysfunction as a woman in her 50s. Rachel Zoe, much like Bose, has gotten used to, that she thinks there's no big deal just because she survived it. Mind you, Rachel, Bose, Dorit, all these women are admitting when it's not about Amanda that their lives are in shambles or in transition or in some sort of upheaval or shift, right? All these women are recalibrating their lives and admitting that they did it their way and they're not all the way okay, right? Amanda's planning a wedding and spending money and buying new dresses and bows for her hair. I need you to understand why they find her so annoying subconsciously in ways that I do not think that they're ever going to admit to themselves unless they go to a therapist. You're all sitting around, when you're not talking about Amanda and Kyle and Dorit's little whatever, you're sitting around crying about what's happening to your bodies, your biological clocks, your businesses, your marriages, etc. This young woman is juicy and prospering and getting everything she wants and sleeping earlier than everybody. And every time y'all cuss her out, she gets a new idea for a book, child. When they made fun of Amanda about the cult, Amanda said, y'all are so obsessed with me in this cult. You just gave me an idea. I'm going to write a book about a cult. I'm going to call my publisher right now. The next morning, the very next scene is Amanda with her laptop starting to write her new book that they inspired. They pissed the woman off into making more money. When y'all make Amanda mad, she makes more money. I'm not saying Amanda's perfect. I'm not even saying I like Amanda. I might even do a video next month about how I found out Amanda was a fucking charlatan. That's actually irrelevant to what she represents and why she's being attacked. Okay?
And toxic because they're in this beauty industry. They're focused on beauty. And so you've got this level of like being a woman that hates younger women or hates other women and is threatened by them. But then, you know, they're in a leadership role where they can control the narrative and they can control the trajectory of your career.
Yes, Amanda gets 3 facials a month. Y'all know I'm a skincare girl. Even I was like, damn.
By how they talk about you in circles of other higher ups. But they have that authority that they can just march into your office or your store and pull you into a back room and speak to you so poorly. But they know so many other people that there's nothing you can do about it. No one's going to believe you. She was so scary, like legitimately scary. And now she's apparently some kind of like life coach or.
Did you hear this? This woman just told you all this story about how this woman bullied her and made her on the verge of tears, X, Y, and Z, pulling her in rooms to have covert moments of abuse. This lady is now a life coach selling courses about empowerment, like Bose and them. I find it so funny that a lot of the corporate baddies who have this normalized girl boss toxicity then turn into coaches. And yet, you have the audacity to judge Amanda, who's playing your game, your exact game, and prospering. So are you judging her because she did it? Because you did it too. Or are you judging her because she did it without having to suffer?
Something. She like trains people in how to be like happier and fulfilled with their life.
I don't know if we would have been friends if we met 5 years ago. Why?
You also were saying, Blue, how do you know that Bose and Dorit bonded over trauma? Because Bose told us. I'm not making shit up.
Because life was different. You know, she was in a different space and I was in a different space. But now we are at a moment where like literally the first moment we met, we were already like trauma dumping on each other.
Did y'all hear that? Let the record show Blue Lusma might tell a joke and she would never tell a lie. In fact, the joke might be part of the truth too. All right, let's continue listening to her talk but for herself. Bose is talking for herself. I'm being fair. Okay? Let's hear it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, she was like, girl, I'm separated. I'm going through a divorce. I was like, girl, my husband died. You know what I mean? It was like, we could connect on loss.
She admitted that her and Dorit connected on loss and on shit not working out the way they wanted. And now they're both deeply, them and Rachel Zoe, who is currently going through a divorce and her husband has a new boyfriend, right? Rachel Zoe's whole storyline is her marriage of 25 years has ended and her husband has a new girlfriend who's now bringing around their children. And Rachel is devastated by it, even though she's happy the marriage is over because she deserves better than what she got. So Rachel Zoe's marriage has imploded. Bose is struggling with a fertility journey that I completely understand and have the utmost understanding for, but I also recognize it can feel demoralizing, yes? So Bose is having her fertility struggles. Rachel Zoe is going through a marriage dissolving while her former man has a new girl. Dorit is going broke while also going through a divorce with a man that she's identified as a raging alcoholic. Amanda is getting 3 facials a month. All the women who bonded over trauma are the ones who seem the most irrationally annoyed and convinced that Amanda must be a fake bitch because, bitch, where the fuck is your trauma? What about the code? Oh, I got in my car and left because I thought that shit was whack, and then I got some therapy, and I became a therapist, and I started a whole client business, and I have an 80%, high ratings, which is good, and I'm as rich as y'all. Are we clocking That it's all the women who bonded over trauma, who have an issue with the woman who refuses to bond over trauma and who rather just heal and move on? Are we all clocking this? And you know what the crazy shit is? You go on TikTok right now, most of the algorithm is on Dorit's side because it's the same thing that happened with fucking Huda. Unhealed bitches love other unhealed bitches because they don't implore you to grow the fuck up. TikTok is full of Dorit apologists. Because she's still the reigning white, right?
And a change in life as you knew it.
The reason I don't recommend women to bond over negative experiences.
So you see how clever that was? I just showed Bose saying that they bonded over negative experiences. And now someone's going to explain to you, are y'all sure that's a good thing? Is that a flex? Now me and her wouldn't have been friends 5 years ago because she was too up to be my friend. That's what I heard. Me and her would not have been friends 5 years ago because 5 years ago our shit wasn't falling apart and we didn't have to cling to each other while we were drowning. So romantic.
It's because it does the total opposite for you. You attract the most negative, insecure women in your life unintentionally. Instead of bonding over defeat, you want to bond over resilience.
Exactly.
You want to bond over shared goals.
She's saying you want to bond with women who are resilient and have shared goals and maybe work and sell the same product that you're working and trying to sell, but who are more successful. Because maybe if you bond with women who are resilient and do not want to bond over trauma, they can help you figure out how to sell your courses the way they sold theirs. The gag is, if Dorit hadn't rushed to be Queen White and hadn't already hired Bose, I actually think Bose and Amanda were actually the best suited to be friends in the entire cast. That is the biggest gag. On paper, Bose and Amanda are the most alike. Yikes!
Accomplishments and support. Instead of making friends because you have been hurt, she has been hurt, her baby daddy left, your baby daddy left, all that's going to create is a breathing ground of hatred amongst each other.
I resent the idea
to watch how Amanda responds after every woman at the table except for Sutton, who is now just a satellite floating without her black, and Kyle, who now that she came back from Pride is trying to recalibrate her life. Except for Kyle and Sutton, every woman at the table is Team Dorit. Every woman who is Team Dorit is coming at fucking Amanda. Even Kathy Hilton, who was asleep most of the season, woke up to say, Amanda, maybe you don't know your place. Imagine Kathy Hilton. A Hilton heiress telling you that you don't know your fucking place. That is the top echelon of white woman shit, right? And with all this happening, you're the baby of the group. You don't cry. You don't throw a scene. You say this instead.
that being calm and centered and grounded and emotionally regulated is fake. I have been very practiced throughout my life at not giving energy and emotions to.
Do you see how she says, I resent the idea that you're calling me fake just because I'm not falling apart like the rest of you. And Dorit immediately starts to undermine her sharing and opening up by rolling her eyes. 3 seconds after she's done saying this, Bose is going to say, why don't you want to open up to us? Bitch, I literally just started and your friend is making googly clown faces. I know she's a clown, but she ain't got to make the fucking face to go with it. You see how disingenuous it is to tell somebody that they have to move in a way that requires them to be vulnerable while simultaneously actively making them unsafe.
Do everything. I do not feel safe at the dinner table. It is not a time to get more vulnerable at these dinners. There have.
She says, I do not feel safe at the dinner table, and they all lose it. Oh, shut the fuck up. Safe? What the fuck do you mean safe? We've barely hazed you. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, grow up. Because, because Bose is older. She's constantly telling Amanda to grow up, right? Grow up, Amanda. How you going to say you're not safe? You're such a wimp. Why are you always crying? Oh, my God. That was their reaction to this. Do you see how calm the lady was? Exactly. Misery loves company and absolutely hates growth.
Been moments where I have not felt safe emotionally. And that's at a time where I'm going to open.
And she said, and I don't feel safe emotionally, right? She makes it a point to tell you the kind of safety that is lacking is the emotional kind. I'm not saying you're going to jump me or beat me up or anything else. I'm saying emotionally being in your presence doesn't make me feel safe. Look at Bose's face. Bose looks the way your toxic boss looks when you tell them that you're not going to come in on your day off because you didn't get a Christmas bonus, and fuck a Christmas bonus. You want to spend quality time with your family because your mental cost means more to you than a good review. That's the face of this bitch doesn't know her fucking place. I would have never, if I was you, bitch, I would never say something like that to a bitch like me. Y'all look at this face. We know this face when someone is setting a boundary that you yourself never set, and you're annoyed because you're like, bitch, I made okay without it. How dare you ask for something that I was too much of a coward to ask for? How dare you inconvenience me to grow, to respect you in a reasonable manner just because I never was able to do this in your position? How dare you, bitch? How fucking dare you?
Not more. You don't exactly live like the Queen of Sheba. Listen.
Now, meanwhile, while Amanda is being attacked for saying, hey, I don't feel safe, last reunion, this is Dorit saying to Sutton, bitch, you don't live like the Queen of Sheba. You live on a main road, bitch. You rich, but you're not rich. So fuck Amanda. Amanda's fake, but Dorit is real. The same Dorit who out-white womened all the other white women by saying, hey, women with all this money, you not really rich because your Bel Air house is facing the street.
You live on a main road.
Oof.
Dorit Kemsley is reportedly facing foreclosure on her $6.5 million Encino home after racking up more than $842,000 in debt. And
so wait a minute, she might live on a main road, but at least she can still afford it. Imagine telling somebody, bitch, you're not even that rich. You live on a main road, and then a year later, you're foreclosing for the second time. Yikes!
honestly, this headline is exactly why Dorit's comment to Sutton last year about living on a main road was hysterical, because at least Sutton can afford her home.
So she lives on a street front in Bel Air. That's what you're weaponizing against her?
Even Andy said, wait, are you calling her poor because her Bel Air mansion faces the street? Even Andy doesn't understand this level of flexing. Dorit, you're calling her poor because her Bel Air mansion that she owns outright and is still in possession of, unforeclosed, is facing the street. Where does your foreclosure face, Dorit? Dorit, I would like to know, where does your foreclosed house face? Since it's Superior, I just want some orientation about how we're calibrating and you know, quantifying all these metrics you've come up with.
I wouldn't want to live on a...
I love Jennifer Tilly because, like Jennifer Tilly, I would have been eating my fucking chips, child. Not the bitch made me hungry. Jennifer Tilly is probably the person on the show that I actually relate to the most. That's the gag. You guys are thinking, oh, you relate the most to the person on the show that I if I was on this show, I wouldn't even be Garcelle. I'd be Jennifer Tilly. I'd be popping shrooms and edibles and minding my business and eating caviar and caftans.
Main road? I'm quite happy where I am. And my life is full of love.
Oh.
Frankly, Sutton could probably own a lot of that road. According to a report from Radar Online, the Real Houses of Beverly Hills star is currently dealing with a major financial issue tied to the home she purchased with PK back in 2019. The 6-bedroom, 7-bathroom Encino property, which Dorit has continued to live in since separating from PK in May 2024, is reportedly in pre-foreclosure again. Radar Online reports that 2 lenders, Tanka LLC and Private Money Solutions, filed a default notice in January claiming that Dorit owes $842,376 after defaulting on loans totaling $750,000. The notice states that payments have not been made since September 2025. And that's not the only issue. Another lender, Prime Recon LLC, reportedly filed a separate default notice in December tied to a mortgage of more than $5.1 million. According to the report, Dorit had missed roughly $294,000 in payments that year.
Wait. You missed $294,000 in payments that year, but when you were going on a shopping spree for $6K, and Kyle, who's friends with your husband and knows you're dead broke, tells her friends, including Bose, hey, I'm really worried about Dorit. I don't think she can afford that. We need to figure something out because she's being erratic. Again, I'm not a Kyle apologist, but if my nigga told me that your nigga told him that you ain't got no money, and I see you with Rachel Zoe trying to impress Rachel Zoe, spending $6K on a couple of fucking rompers, I'm gonna be looking at you like this too. Like, bitch, you about to be living under a bridge. Put the romper away. Pay your mortgage.
Including interest. And if those balances aren't resolved, the lenders could push the property into foreclosure. And again, this headline is exactly why I thought Dorit's jab at Sutton about living.
Somebody said, damn, the call was coming from inside you because they ain't no house. My God. I'm not laughing at her foreclosing. I'm just laughing at how clever you guys are. I love you guys.
On a main road was laughable because Sutton is actually wealthy, while Dorit's always struck me as someone trying very hard to look wealthy. And it also makes some of the production choices on Real Houses of Beverly Hills feel a little ridiculous in hindsight. Like the opening scene this season literally shows Dorit walking around with stacks of Hermes bags. Like, we're supposed to believe that lifestyle is real when the reports are now saying that her home is facing foreclosure. Dorit's spending has actually been a topic on the show this season as well.
Here's the person who said the cow was being mean. Was she being inaccurate? Oh, wait. Cow being mean is a matter of opinion, and you're totally allowed to your opinions. Was she being inaccurate, though? I'll give you that cow was being mean if that's what you need me to give you. Was she inaccurate? Okay. I think the truth is mean. I think when you are pretending to be able to go on shopping sprees and calling the man who paid your mortgage a raging alcoholic, and so he stops paying your mortgage because you keep calling him names. If he's going to pay the mortgage, maybe not call him names on camera. If you are not able to pay your mortgage, and I know that you are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and about to be foreclosed, and I see you shopping, and I'm freaked out because I'm trying to tell you gently, bitch, please stop. You can't afford this. And you scream at me and buy some more. You call that mean. Okay. But is it inaccurate though, baby? I don't see the user anymore. No answers? Oh, okay.
In one episode, viewers saw her credit card get declined while her, Kyle, and Rachel were shopping during a trip to the Hamptons. But this financial situation being reported does raise questions about how much of that luxury lifestyle we see on Housewives is actually real. What do y'all think? Are Dorit and PK just another example of housewives and house husbands living beyond their means to...
Kyle said all Dorit wants in this season of her life is yes men. I truly believe her.
All Dorit wants in this season of her life is yes men. I actually agree, because nobody's allowed to say anything but yes to Dorit. And if Bose or, the illustrious Kathy Hilton or the effervescent, iconic, legendary Rachel Zoe say the exact thing that Kyle says, it's okay. It's just feedback. If Kyle says it, it's World War III. Again, Kyle is not innocent. Kyle and Dorit have beef, and they play Spider-Man a lot. They both are full of sins. Neither of them is a damsel. However, again, Dorit has out-white-womaned Kyle, which means her bullshit stinks a little bit louder.
I feel like Dorit is trying too hard with this storyline when it comes to PK. Erica Jane didn't even go as hard when it came to her husband and all the fraudulent things that he did. I feel like every episode, she is just antagonizing PK with everything. And I feel like every time I get on TikTok, everyone is talking about how they're team Dorit and how they believe her and nobody ever believes the woman. But at the same time, I'm trying to understand, why didn't she show Mauricio her phone?
So Mauricio and Dorit had lunch, and Mauricio said, hey, what's up? Dorit said, I need you to check your boy. Your boy's on some bullshit. Mano a mano, y'all are close. Kyle's constantly telling me how close you are. Can you tell him that he's on some bullshit? And Mauricio says, Dorit, I've seen all the texts and the emails. Very calmly. Dorit's like, what? She's like, Dorit, I've seen his attempts to make things right with you. I've seen his attempts to figure things out. I've seen what he's written. I've seen what you've written. I've seen everything, Dorit. Based on what I've seen, I don't think he's full of shit. This is the moment where any woman would say, okay, well, here's my phone. Did he show you this? Did he show you this? Dorit never once touched her phone to prove that there were things that might have been deleted to put things out of context. Every reality show known to man, even Real Housewives of fucking Potomac, when they accused Stacey of calling Chris and speaking about Monique and their marriage, she literally pulled out her phone and said, this is literally Chris is hitting me up and I'm not responding to him. Right? And so when it comes to that marriage on Potomac, the first thing that when you hear anything about a marriage and he said, she said, your first thing is, here it is. This is the context. Dorit never reached for her phone. Instead, she huffed and puffed and said, Mauricio doesn't want to listen to reason. Y'all don't think it's strange that this entire time that we have known that Kyle is imperfect and manipulative and very much a long-term Bravo celebrity? You don't think it's strange that when we talk to Mo, who does not talk about the PK thing very much with Dorit, when they sit down, he has the calmness of a man with receipts. As a bitch who has receipts, I know what the fuck I saw. That is the calmness of a man with receipts who knows that if he says exactly what's on the receipts, and bitch, you know what's on the receipts, this whole thing would come undone. I'm going to keep it cute as long as you keep it cute. So, Dorit, yeah, I saw everything, ho. I saw everything, Dorit. The emails and the text. What say you? And what did she do? She backed down. It is the only time that she has ever backed down. Do you really think an emotionally dysregulated, frazzled, overspending white woman who's been out white womaning all the other white women until she met younger Amanda, do you really think somebody who's on that streak of outlandishness would really find the wherewithal to hold back on continuing it if she had something to counter what she knew he knew? That was the moment that I knew Dorit was full of shit. Not because of Kyle. That was the moment.
Mauricio sat there and said, I've seen emails, I've seen the text messages, and I've been in that situation before where women have lied about men, and I literally am looking at a screen with text messages and voicemails and memos that the woman is not saying that she has just because she wants a level of empathy that she feels like she needs from her friends. And that's what I feel like is happening with Dorit and PK.
One time I saw a white man say, why do white women always align with people of color and act like they weren't racist too and that they weren't part of the problem? Why is it that y'all act like, wait, the white is still not attached to the woman part? And, you know, research has shown 40% of slave owners were white women. 60% of the slavery problem was men. 40% of the slavery problem was white women. And so when white women act as if their whiteness does not make them simultaneously oppressors while their womanhood make them oppressed, I'm never going to be able to trust you because you're telling me a lie. You're half oppressed and half oppressor. You're telling me a lie. Dorit doesn't ever want to admit that she in any way can be oppressive, while using the very white tears of white womanhood and oppression in order to get out of accountability. So again, we all have clocked Kyle's tea for years. We've all clocked Kyle's tea. But Kyle being full of shit doesn't mean Dorit's not full of shit too.
And then she gets in this episode and she's like, yeah, he wanted to talk about mediation, seeing the kids, and he wants to see them Thursday through this day. And I just immediately said yes. You immediately said yes because it was in mediation. And that's the only way he wanted to talk to you is in mediation because you would not respond to anything else. If he was like, to me, it personally makes no sense. And I think that Kyle and Mauricio sees that. And I think that other people see that, but they don't want to talk about.
Kyle and Mauricio are in a funky space because they know the truth and they know that they cannot attack Dorit without looking like villains.
About anybody else's marriage. And as a single person with no kids, maybe I shouldn't have a take on this either, but something about this seems off. And I have been in situations.
Baby, that's not how that works. You can be a white woman while being Israeli. That's not how that works, babe. Israel is not a race.
Where I have seen this firsthand from women who desire empathy and they want to be victimized by everything. But at the end of the day, you are not telling the full truth. And so I think she just was like wanting to play this like, oh, innocent. Oh, Mauricio, I'm trying. And I felt like Mauricio was like, I already know.
And yes, I love this statement, which explains Dorit's overreaction to Garcelle that one time. Garcelle called her out with laser focus and was unmoved by her white woman tears. Garcelle is the only person who's ever done that, and Garcelle is now gone.
I already see, but you know, I'm not going to keep spending this time with you. If you want to continue to drill in the story about PK, by all means.
Oh, good. I'm happy you're being sarcastic because there are people who say that shit and they really don't know the difference.
Do your thing. But yeah, something about it to me just doesn't feel sincere.
Dorit from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills liking an AI-generated post showing a Trump resort on top of Gaza.
Oh yeah, speaking of it, Israeli, perfect timing. I didn't even plan that. While we're talking about Dorit being half Israeli, there are reports, allegedly, there are reports. Yeah.
Isn't that surprising? Her dad is an Israeli, but it is incredibly cruel. Like they're treating the unaliving of 200,000 Palestinians as the means for a real estate grab. It's gross and more of an argument for taking these rich people's mansions and communalizing land and taking basic human needs like housing off the private market.
All the housewives at this upcoming reunion.
So this is the clip of Carlos and Amanda. Shout out to him. This was a great interview. Amanda, when you let her talk without the group think, you might still find her annoying, but she's not as insufferable. It's just that when someone opens their mouth and everybody in the room goes, oh, that tells you what to think. Even if they're making sense, it tells you how to feel. Without the theatrics and all the drama and the group think and the sheepism that's happening, right? Without the older aunties craning their necks and telling her, how dare you think you're worthy of being at this table even though we're in the same tax bracket. She actually sounds way more reasonable than the show gives her credit for.
Which housewife do you get into it with the most?
Bose. You know that answer. Everyone in America knows that answer.
What do you think of Bose?
This is a hard one because I liked her so much in so many moments. When we're quoting there, we talk about this at the reunion, so people are going to see me talk about it, I think, probably. The day we met, we quoted Bible verses back and forth to each other about abundance. I was quoting, like, with faith as small as a mustard seed, and Mark 11, verse 23 and 24, say to the mountain, be cast into the sea, and it shall be done if you believe in your heart and do not doubt. Like, we were talking about manifestation from a very biblical place before Dorit got there.
Her and Bose, before Dorit got there, were bonding over manifestations and Bible verses because they share those two things in common. I'm telling you, in a world where Dorit is not the white savior of the group, the whitest white woman on the throne, Amanda and Bose were supposed to be friends. I'm telling you.
There, and I was like, me and this girl are going to be fine. We both say praise the Lord to shit all the time. Like, you know, I think in some ways she does understand me a lot. I think she's very into mindset.
She says we both say praise the Lord all the time. You know what sounds like praise the Lord? Won't he do it? You know, the line where Erica slipped and imitated Bose while trying not to talk shit openly about Garcelle. We both say praise the Lord, or won't he do it all the time? You see how full I love when receipts just make a little circle. Not to toot my own heart, toot, but I hope you all understand the amount of storyboarding it took to put this all together. It took 2 days of research for me to put this together. I need you to understand the same Bose who was won't he do it with Erica Jane while Garcelle was at her lowest on the show and on her way out the door, but at the highest in her personal life because she walked away with her integrity. That same Bose was won't he doing it, but this time praise the Lord with Amanda until Dorit said not this one.
I think she knows mindset is a really, really big deal. I think she decided to get stuck on the manifestation part, the word manifestation, instead of the fact that both of us believe very similar things about connecting to God or whatever we want to call it to create a wonderful life.
That's the thing that's crazy. They have the same fucking branding rhetoric. You're calling your doppelganger, you're calling a younger white doppelganger a scam artist, then what the fuck does that make you? If the person who professionally is the most similar to you in the entire cast is a scammer, what and the fuck does that make you? Suddenly, all those people who are like, why do you leave a job every 2 years as soon as the block gets hot? Suddenly, all those unfounded allegations and those controversies about how you climbed the corporate ladder. If we're investigating Amanda, because there's a scene where they investigate Amanda using ChatGPT. If you're using ChatGPT to look up Amanda and you are laughing and kikiing and cackling in a car to look up Amanda and it comes up with bad things, what do you think is going to happen when we look up you? The scene that told me while me and Bridget were watching it that I had to do this live was when Bose and the girls are in Italy, including Amanda. And one of the girls who's not really a character, she's like a friend of the show, says, ooh, look at those Pinocchio masks. And Bose says, that's Amanda. Right? Basically implying that Amanda is wearing a mask and is fake. Amanda hears this and Amanda says to Kyle later, did you hear when Bose said that I was fake and made that quip about the mask? And then the other girl, Natalie, says, yeah, I was there, but she was joking, but I was there. And Kyle's like, that's a really mean joke. You know Amanda's on the outs of the group and that she is an outlier because Team Dorit is the majority of you. We're all together. She's within earshot. Somebody says, ooh, look at that Pinocchio mask, and you say her name and she can hear you. That joke, even if it's a joke, is a mean-spirited joke. You're further alienating an already alienated person in their own fucking ecosystem, like in a space where they might hear you. And you're doing it right within eyesight of them because you're snickering with boldness. There's nothing funny about that. And Natalie's like, yeah, I heard it, but it was a joke. They go back. Natalie goes back and tells Dorit and them, oh, Bose, Amanda's mad at you because you called her fake. Bose is like, no, the fuck I didn't. Bose spends the entire rest of the season attacking Amanda, calling her a baby, calling her childish, calling her foolish because she had the audacity to lie on her and say that she called her fake when she didn't. Where's my phone? Oh. And the entire time, the producers caught everything. And Bose makes a joke last week, and apologizes and says, my bad, no face, no case. Haha, I'm just joking. Sorry, Amanda. But you are annoying, though, and goes right back into roasting her.
I meet with her and Bose, where I feel like I do get to know her better. I do hear about more what's going on for her. I do feel like I gave her some good advice, even if Bose later questioned it in an interview. At the time when I was giving the advice, Bose was saying, hallelujah, amen, sister. And Bose has said that. You'll see her say it in the reunion. So watch the...
Oh, she also tried to subtly play the race card now that she's the only Black woman she can do that. And say, well, Amanda, you calling me aggressive. You know, that's a microaggression. Wait, Bose, are you about to accuse a white woman of microaggressions? Because when the queen was actually caught on camera doing several microaggressions, you defended her against the other Black. Oh, no, honey, you can't pull a Garcelle now. Garcelle's gone.
Reunion. It's coming very soon. Bose and I agreed on a lot of things when I was giving Dorit advice. So my expectation after that lunch was I will have more opportunities to talk to Dorit, and I'm excited about this. I think I can really help her. That's what was going on in my mind. And you saw how we got totally sidetracked and derailed from the thing I said at Kathy's, which wasn't really even anything now that we've seen it. Amanda Francis Inc. has attracted a lot of people. A lot. Now, tens of thousands of new people reading my book, which is amazing. But also, I very intentionally created a lot of offers at various prices over the past few months. We've always had some low cost offers, some things that are $20 and $30. But in the past few months, I've done a lot of pay what you feel to pay, $5, $11. And there's a lot of people kind of opening up to spirituality for the first time. And that's my actual job. It's my actual job. So it's okay if the haters don't want to come buy a $5 thing. But my team is getting emails constantly
So in summation, Amanda's making a lot of money. Bose is still an aging corporate hater who has every reason to be lovely and still chose of all the flavors to be salty. Kyle is imperfect, and yet the broken clock has been right all day long on this matter. Erica Jane is still the ice queen, and Dorit is still the reigning white woman. She is still the whitest white woman with a crown. But Amanda is the whitest white woman in that room, and that's why those hoes are mad. You've been out white womaned. Are you not embarrassed? Now, I want to wrap this up here. Bridget, I have 15 minutes to do Chilli and that boy. Should I do it or just call it a night?
Call it a night. Fuck Chilli.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm going to do Chilli.
The only Chilli we acknowledge is Wagyu. The only Chilli
Is that
we
burger?
acknowledge is baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. That's the only Chilli we acknowledge.
Can I have a piece of burger? Okay, I want to play Chilli while I eat a piece of burger. I'm sorry, y'all.
Aaliyah is getting cooked in the streets of social media because she did not, in fact, stick to the rivers and the lakes that she's used to. So let's talk about why she's trending. A report revealed that Chilli allegedly donated $1,000 to a political group connected to Donald Trump, and that's where everything went bad. If you let Chilli tell it, she says that was not her intention. She thought she was supporting causes related to human trafficking and veterans, not political campaigns. However, things got a little bit messier after internet detectives did a deep dive on her online activities.
Now, we all know that Chilli's on some bullshit, right? Sorry, Bridget bought me. I don't want to say hi to you, Bridget. You and your piece of burger. Say hi.
Hey, y'all. Not me with my burger, just all in the camera.
Bridget bought burgers. Oh, ketchup, thank you. Sorry, guys, I'm remembering different. Okay, let's continue.
Today.
I really didn't. All right, so let's watch more about how Chilli is fucking up her legacy and her tour. I need y'all to understand that I feel really bad. Ooh, this burger feels hefty. I haven't had a burger in a while. Oh my god, this is amazing. This is a mukbang. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's just watch this. I'm sorry.
And found where she was liking posts connected to Donald Trump's reelection. And now people are side-eyeing this situation even more. And it doesn't help that it comes on the heels of Chilli reposting a debunked conspiracy theory about my forever FLOTUS, Michelle Obama. But Chilli took to the streets of social media saying that she mistakenly reposted the video about Michelle Obama, and she had no idea that she reposted.
You guys, the way the algorithm works, you only see things that they think that you will like based on your previous likes and people that you're following. The fact that that content was even on her algorithm is already telling on her.
Said video until she was alerted by friends and family via text messages and phone calls. Now, I'm not one to bring up Black history, but some others did. And they also recalled back in 2017 when Chilli loudly and proudly said that all lives matter.
But this is good. What burger is this?
Habit burger. Isn't that amazing?
Habit burger?
Yeah.
When did this come about?
Oh, it's been around forever. There's just not that many.
Bitch, I ain't never heard of this. Ooh. Sorry. I'm sorry. I am fucking this up. That's what, you're right. I should have aborted mission.
Told you.
Not the Happy Meal toy fell over. We're unserious. All right, let's continue watching about how Chilli is tanking her last bit of being able to pay her mortgage.
And then walked it back, just basically saying, hey, I support and love everyone. In a statement posted on her Instagram account, Chilli proclaimed that she is not MAGA, she does not support harmful policies, and she has learned quite a bit from this ordeal. She's also asking for grace as she moves forward from this. Meanwhile, TLC is preparing to go on tour with En Vogue and Salt-N-Pepa, and I'm sure that this is not going to help ticket sales.
As a former publicist, let me explain something to you. Not all publicists, but a lot of
those who are asking what's on the burger, that's not the topic.
Bacon, cheese, jalapenos, and barbecue sauce.
I always get burgers with bacon, cheese, jalapeno, and barbecue sauce. I know. This is actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is really good. This is how Burger King used to taste.
Yes. This is Burger King from our childhood.
This tastes like childhood Burger King. Sorry, I'm not me doing that fucking ad for Happy Burger.
Back when most of the meat paws was grass-fed.
This is like a real cow.
them deal with crisis management. And what the goal almost always is to bring y'all, the public, from certainty about a fact to uncertainty.
Confusion. The point is to cause confusion.
So this whole like TLC, Chilli being MAGA, she hit the repost by mistake. That's crisis management, baby. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. I've done it on this app. Because that's the thing. Like I heard, I made the mistake of looking at TikTok before the bed, and I was like, bitch, what do you mean Chilli is MAGA? And I was like, you know what, girl, go to sleep. The fuck? Like, this is why you don't look at TikTok before bed. But the video that I saw where she's like explaining it, I was like, but babe, at your grown ass fucking age, and as a public figure, you don't know that when you donate to politicians, that is public knowledge. Just like when you vote, that is public knowledge.
All hip hop.
So by the way, guys, Mel's mentioned this before. Mel's not my biological sister, but she's, you know, my sister in every way that counts. Mel's from Iowa, and her cousin is T-Boz. And the last time I saw Chilli, it was because, you know, every time T-Boz is in town, she gives Mel a bunch of tickets. And so I was like, Mel, what the fuck your cousin got to say? Well, apparently this is what T-Boz has to say about Chilli claiming that she is not MAGA.
My group member voted for him.
Well, they're talking about Trump. T-Boz flat out said my group member voted for him.
Raggedy.
Richard, you think that they're probably arguing right now?
No.
You think T-Boz is not yelling at Chilli for fucking up the money?
I think T-Boz is saying, I told you so, you dumbass. That's what I think is happening. I don't think she's arguing. I think it's a thing of, I told you so.
Yeah.
We're TLC, okay?
Yeah, what happened to the condoms and shit?
Right. What happened to women's rights, reproductive rights, LGBTQIA+ rights?
Yeah. Here's my thing is.
One more time, play it again.
All hip hop exclusive. My group member voted for him.
Well, here's my thing is.
Y'all heard it twice.
She's also not. She wasn't mad enough for me. If somebody told me at any point in time that they were pissed off because they thought that I was supporting a racist bigot. I would be flying off the handle to prove that that is not who I am. She didn't give enough of a damn.
Yeah. Chilli wasn't mad enough in the apology. In the apology, it seemed like, oh no, y'all about to cancel me, huh? I haven't made that last car payment.
Grace. Grace for what, babe? You're old.
Grace for mortgage. And I'm saying, was Chilli giving grace when she was being weird, anti-black, and on some respectability politics bullshit?
I don't have grace for caramel, but I do have it for chocolate. Bye.
Chilli constantly. Oh, I didn't get the video of Chilli. There's a video of a young girl mentioning how back in the day, whenever a girl who was monoracial and not mixed looking said, "Oh my God, Chilli, people always tell me I look like you," Chilli be like, "No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop calling me twin." Chilli used to get mad when regular black girls, monoracial black girls who didn't have the same curl pattern and the same baby hairs would say, "I can tell I look like you." Mind you, a lot of them girls look just like her. They just had nappier hair.
T-Boz needs to sue Chilli because they were getting ready to do this icon tour, and all of this stuff came out. And it's not just one thing. It's not just, oh, she accidentally reposted something. It's the fact that she's following certain people. It's the fact that she's donating to certain parties and causes and whatnot. It's like, it's too much. And I would have liked it better if she would have just actually just said the truth. Nikki went out there and just straight out was mad at her.
Somebody said, yeah, that little girl looked just like Chilli. She did, but she called Karrueche her twin. Chilli thinks she looks like Karrueche Tran. This burger is so fucking good. And I wanted to just eat, but Chilli is so full of shit. She's interrupting my chewing. Chilli, you do not look Vietnamese. Respectfully.
Like, if you won't say it with your chest, say it with your chest. But people think that they can just do stuff and be sneaky behind it. And no, it's 2026.
Oh, shit, somebody said not Chilli and Usher under fire at the same time. They haven't done a promo track like this since Confessions. What the fuck? Well, these are my confessions.
This way you
thought I said, right. I would say, my chick on the side said that she's a MAGA baby. Yeah. These are my confessions. Damn, I'm blown because all you hoes. Well, Chilli, I'll never see you in concert again, even if Mel gives me free tickets, respectfully.
We have too much technology.
And I don't give a damn what nobody say. Chilli a MAGA. Chilli doing all that crying and she want to apologize and she don't want nobody to cancel her because she know good and well ain't nobody gonna buy them tickets to come see her. Like, if we being real about it, people was really only buying them tickets or whatever because Left Eye, passed away. So being that ain't y'all fault, people still wanted to support you. We rock with T-Boz because we know she black, like she hood. But Chilli, all she ever dated was white men after Usher. I mean, that's another story. But one brother can't throw you off. Like, Chilli's a whole white woman. I don't know why everybody acting like they surprised at this, but baby, she's about to backtrack. Chilli might even rap some Cardi B within the next couple of days. She gonna do anything to try to get her black card back. Watch what I say.
Salt from Salt and Pepper is defending Chilli. I can actually see her being a Trump supporter because years ago she had a TV show and she was talking about how she's an evangelical Christian. I can see her being a Trump supporter also. So at this point, wrap it up. Fuck that tour. Wrap it up. Ain't nobody getting no money.
It's a little disturbing to me to see this corner of the black delegation saying comments on social media like, y'all some dumbasses. I don't understand why y'all so mad with Chilli. She can support who she want to support. This is just dumb that y'all mad at her. It ain't nobody's business who she supports, so on and so forth.
You know how we always say, most of y'all, when y'all say it's not that deep, it's because you're not that deep. Yeah. So I need some of y'all to recognize, read the room.
All things constant, in a normal situation, you'd probably be right. But at this point, people are upset because this man is actively causing harm that is impacting people's day-to-day lives. And that's the short of it. families being ripped apart, complete industries going belly up as a result of his decisions, ICE hunting down brown people for the sport of it all. Cost of living is through the roof. And let's not forget to mention that we are in a pointless war right now. Oh, and the U.S. is insolvent and people ain't getting paid down to the TSA. There is a lot of harm that has happened very quickly to a lot of people. So when somebody has caused my family to be ripped apart, or somebody has caused me to not be able to pay my bills, and then
somebody said Uncle Luke is reading for filth. Uncle Luke? Come on, baby. Really? Well, where's Uncle Luke reading for filth? I want more. I want to
find out that you are in support of the person who has caused me harm. It's going to create upset.
Yeah.
And we are at a point now where, honestly and truthfully, many Americans are so tired. A line has been drawn in the sand.
Yeah, I agree.
And that line is either you with us over here who got a little bit of decency about ourselves, or you over there supporting this man who was causing harm. Because at this point in this man's presidency, there is no earthly way anybody can say he's doing a good job and what he's doing is great for the country and what he's doing has helped everybody and the country is in the best shape it's ever been and he's the greatest.
Not so fast. There's at least two people, both bald-headed, who have something to say about this. Lord.
President ever. You just can't.
This is what happens when you allow everyone to get in front of a camera and have conversations that they're not actually qualified to have. Okay? You end up with two people that look like this in a car saying a bunch of nothing and spreading misinformation.
Not even close. Democrats don't care about black people. And they don't care about people. They don't care about people of color. And the Republicans do, and that's the misconception.
And you know what? I agree with you 100%. People don't know that the Democrats is the party of the KKK.
Yep.
People don't know that the Republicans.
Y'all, this has been fodder for since Twitter. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party have switched sides. The same people who were the party of the KKK are now called Republicans. They switch all the time. They switch just in time for the civil rights movement. They switch more than once. How do you read half the sentence or half the paragraph and then see what you like and then don't read the rest?
Are the party that freed the slaves.
Yeah.
I mean, both of you and I have some conservative views. You just a little bit more outspoken about it than I am.
Now, let me start off by saying that to know me is to know that I don't subscribe to any political party. I rock with whoever is for the people. And when I say the people, I'm specifically talking about people who are disenfranchised in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in that same car ride, Amber Rose said that biracial people are not black.
Yes, she did.
Which tells us that you do not understand race as the social construct that it is, making you not qualified to have this conversation. And in addition to that, we know that you believe that that's not true because you got on black entertainment television and did.
I wish somebody asked her, are biracial people white?
I would like her to not speak for biracial people.
Bridget said on behalf of biracials, bitch, shut up.
On behalf of biracials, bitch, shut your ass up. You don't speak for me. You're a big, bald, alien, empty brain. You don't speak for me. Please.
This show has gone off the rails. I love it here.
No.
She's biracial.
That girl is stupid. She is dumb.
Y'all want to hear some tea? Oh, I feel like sharing some tea. Bridget already knows this. You already know this, friend. Somebody pitched for me and Melissa Ford and Amber Rose to all do a show together, and Melissa turned it down.
Well, one good, never mind. I'll be quiet.
Somebody pitched for when we lost Chanel on me and Melissa's pod that Amber Rose come on as our third co-host, and Melissa did not want to share the stage with another baddie. This burger real good.
Imagine the one biracial was like, "We're not. I know black.
I know black."
The other biracial was like,
"I'm so black.
I am so black, but not really. I'm not."
Can you imagine me in a inside out biracial Oreo cookie with chocolate filling instead of cream?
I'm exhausted.
I didn't want to be an inverse Oreo cookie with Melissa Ford and Amber Rose, but now I feel like No, God knew. God knew didn't stop that from happening. So yeah, I'm not gonna say who pitched it. I don't want to share too much, but they were really excited about it. They said that Amber was open to it, and Melissa was like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that."
A reality show at an HBCU and was fighting for your life to let the world know that you're not black. So who are you to tell black folks what political party has their best interest at heart?
Right.
You're not, it makes you not qualified. Now, before I get into the details about how what Nick Cannon said was technically misinformation, I just want to clarify for everyone that neither one of the political parties wanted to free enslaved people.
Correct.
That was never their bottom line. And if you did a little bit of research, you would have known that it was all driven by ulterior motives. But whatever. Now, what is true is that Lincoln was technically a part of the Republican Party. And the Republican Party looked a lot different than what it looks like now, because in the 60s, many of the people who were Republican switched over to Democrats, which became the quote unquote party of the civil rights. And all of it is really nonsense, because at the end of the day, it was never about treating black people as though they were human. But this just goes to show you that people will say anything when a dollar is at the end of that sentence.
I said, black people look better, and that's when she started getting.
Y'all talk about Afro-Latinos, but I don't think there's any Afro-Latino in the public zeitgeist as far as reality TV who is more I'll knock all this shit over a nigga, a proud nigga at that, than Jocelyn. Jocelyn is Vanta Black. For those who don't know, Vanta Black used to be called the blackest shade of black to ever exist. She is Vanta Black. Okay? The Puerto Rican princess is a nigga. And so when Jocelyn was being all pro-black and saying, why the fuck is Amber Rose being such a hater to black people? She was like, oh, bitch, okay, you're one of those biracials. And that whole beef, y'all tried to make Jocelyn look crazy. Was she on coke? Perhaps. But it doesn't mean she was wrong. Why you said, oh. Okay, was that little nose candy president? Justin's already told her she's clean now. Okay, again, doesn't mean that she. What? Am I really waving the? Even a coked out reality star can get it right sometimes. And shout out to Jocelyn and her sobriety.
Upset, and she was like, started talking. I was like, oh, I forgot we had a white person in the room, like a half white person in the room. I was like, damn, I'm. But she started spazzing out. And then I was like, well, bitch, you don't like to be black anyways.
Oh, well.
You don't like to be black anyways. I literally took the opportunity to tell her how I felt about her throughout the whole 20-something days in the college campus and in the house. Because all the things that I've seen her doing throughout the days and throughout the weeks, it was just so white power. White power.
Damn.
White power, white power.
If you have to go back 200 years to find a period in history in which your party was not racist, and as of last week, people in your party in a group chat talking about dozens of ways in which they want to kill black people. You expect people to ignore what's happening today? Let me get this history straight. There was a period of our history in which the Republican Party was the freedom fighting party. When did that change, you might ask? Little mini history lesson. At the end of Reconstruction and the beginning of Jim Crow, where you did have a Democratic South that was, in fact, very racist, that had the one-party primaries and put in place those poll taxes, those literacy tests, and used violence to scare and intimidate and murder people for even having the gall to want to vote. That happened. That is for real. And then you had the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act. This is when we had the shift in party dynamics. This is when you had a Democratic Party now that pushed through that legislation, that got that legislation signed because of the hard work and effort of black people in the civil rights movement that pushed them to do it. We used our political organizing movement and strategy in order to push them to do it. And they did it. But once they did it, you had a mass exodus from the Democratic Party of a far right racist elements that then became Republicans. That became the end of Democratic rule of the South. And ironically, ever since then, you've not had the Democratic presidential candidate get the majority of the white vote since the 1964 Civil Rights Act. This is a fact. Every presidential election since then, the majority of the white population has voted against the Democratic Party. So
you see what happens when you read the rest of the page.
You can miss me with that mess about the Republicans fought slavery. Well, don't you know that the Republicans been fighting me since 1963, 64, 65, all the way up till today?
As soon as somebody starts saying stuff about the Republicans are the party that really care about black people, or the Democrats were in the KKK, I know they're too stupid to continue having a conversation with.
Well, that's the end of the live, y'all. I done fucked with this burger in front of you. I apologize. I'll probably do it again, though. I'm not even gonna hold you. Bridget, you're the MVP.
The moral of the story is one bum-ass, brainless biracial is not going to speak for all of us, okay?
Bridget is recusing herself from all ideologies of Amber Rose, and she does not speak for her.
No.
Yeah, I am. The Puerto Rican princess already told us. By the way, I know Amber Rose is Cape Verdean. My best friend of like 30 years was Cape Verdean. It very much is like Dominicans, where some are proudly black and some not so much. And, you know, Latin America. That's a whole other live for another time. Because I want to thank you for today. I hope the live around what's happening with Bose and Dorit and the dynamics was helpful, because most of the population is missing all the EQ in this and falling for the most obvious white woman tears I've seen in quite a while. So if you are a Dorit fan or a Kyle hater or Bose apologist, that is fine. I hope at the very least I gave you a new framework to be more intelligent and more objective and more balanced in how you're seeing things, particularly when it comes to calling out all the maneuvering and posturing that happens in reality television, because the gag is everybody these days thinks they're on Real Housewives with somebody. And the things that we so only talk about in reality shows are now becoming more and more part of our daily lives. So I promise you, you know a Bose, you know a Dorit, you know a Kyle, right? You might even know a Erica. And the more that you use these shows that are trash as a case study, the more empowered you are to thwart the haters that live amongst you. Until next time, this live was 3 hours and 23 minutes. My God, today, I love y'all so much. I'm about to go lay the fuck down. Bye, family.
Go lay down.
Thank you, Bridget. Love you. Bye, family.